Your free quote and to find out how much you can save, call 1-800-214-2626. That's 1-800-214-2626. 1-800-214-2626. Or go to selectquote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policies at selectquote.com/commercials. Your premium could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
I'm Christine Lisi. The NBA will be off on Election Day, November 8th, with no games scheduled. The league's schedule for this upcoming season will have all 30 teams playing on November 7th, the night before the midterm elections. The NBA is hoping to use that night as an opportunity for teams to encourage fans to get out and vote, plus amplify the need for civic engagement. NFL, Patriots and Panthers holding the first of two joint practices today. One area of focus, Carolina's quarterback competition between Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. It is clear the newcomer Mayfield will be Carolina's starter, says our Chris Canty.
The organization let it be known this offseason that they were interested in other quarterbacks because they had seen enough from Sam Darnold. Think about what they gave the Jets in order to acquire Sam Darnold. Yeah. For the organization to pivot that quickly and decide that they need to bring somebody else into that quarterback room, that just lets you know that Matt Rule and the coaching staff aren't satisfied with what they've seen from Darnold.
Chris Canty of Canty and Carlin. Jets quarterback Zach Wilson having surgery today on a bone bruise and torn meniscus in his knee. A timetable for how much time he'll miss will depend on the outcome of today's procedure, according to the team.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We are live in the Ingles Studio, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. And yes, we are always seen everywhere when we're live on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and that'll get you into the chat.
It's been a tremendously interesting day.
And why is that?
I have learned one of my favorite weird, awkward moments is a series of guys sitting around at a baby shower. That is the most awkward feeling on planet Earth.
Like, what do we do now?
Eddie and Amanda Fox, our wonderful friends over on Kiss Country, getting ready to welcome baby Ellie. So we had a baby shower.
Mm-hmm.
Every guy in the building separated themselves over into the adjoining room.
I mean, as you do.
I will say one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life is Eddie Fox holding up little baby cowboy boots. Like, oh! And from there, the excitement, it kind of crescendoed. I'll give him credit. He showed better than I would have.
How much you want to bet them little cowboy boots end up on Hank the dog at some point soon?
Entirely possible.
Right. They probably already are.
Eddie gets down very similarly to how I do, so I could see a definite path to that.
Right. I mean, dudes at a baby shower, if you're gonna have a baby shower,
don't
ladies,
inviting the guys is fine. Just maybe put something shiny for us to stare at.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, ladies, if you're going to schedule the baby shower and you want the men to be there when the baby shower's going on, schedule it during a ball game. Schedule it for the evening time when the dudes can hang out next to the grill and have some cocktails. And because
this was at 10:30 on a Tuesday.
We don't care that you got a diaper genie and 16 refills.
So I'm going to be real honest with you. It turned into very much the Ricky Bobby interview of, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Right. Especially if it's for a girl. Especially if it's for a girl and you're getting, all the little pink clothes and the cute little outfits and stuff like that. Chicks, y'all dig that. We do not.
Well, it's not even so much that. It's just I don't know what to do with my hands. And apparently Notre Dame doesn't know what to do with their hands either.
Notre Dame, apparently they're going to be out of the realignment talk in college football. Get into that in just a little bit. We'll also get into the kerfuffle that apparently is happening up in Lexington, Kentucky.
I'm going to make somebody so angry, and I'm here for it.
You got John Calipari and Mark Stoops trading shots back and forth about whether or not they're a basketball school. Of course they're a basketball school.
And I'm not so sure that I agree with you.
Oh, gosh. Stop.
Because your tenet of that, I think, is patently wrong, much like John Calipari's is.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll get into that in the 4 o'clock hour of the program today. Back into the 3 o'clock hour, after we talk about Notre Dame, we're going to get into we're going to continue our preseason previews of each and every conference in the NCAA. Today, we'll talk about the other power conference, the Big Ten. NFL Top 100 came out, or is in the process of coming out.
The back end of the 50 came out.
Oh, my God.
As soon as I saw Justin Tucker, no offense, Justin Tucker, he's the greatest kicker that ever lived. There's going to be a name left off this list that I get very angry about.
Mm-hmm.
You put in a kicker and a fullback. Kyle Juszczyk is number 100.
Well, come on.
Stop.
Can we not have every position represented in the top 100? I mean, because when you're getting down to that point, who really cares who 99 is?
I do, because you're going to leave out some impactful pass rusher or a quarterback, and I'm going to go, do you really, honest to God, think that Justin Tucker, as Stephen Tao said, best kicker ever?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't have a quarterback, do you not think they'd give up Justin Tucker for one with, I don't know, a pulse? Of course they would. It's kind of like the punt god, Matt Ariza.
Yep.
Works out great in Buffalo.
He's already in the top 100.
Matt Ariza, I'll be honest with you, he belongs to the top 100.
82-yard punt in the first preseason game. Yeah,
your first kick that we ever see goes 82 yards. Well then, appears that you understood the assignment.
We'll give you the initial reactions from the NFL Top 100 plus in the daily draft today. Well, we're going to do top 100 players, basically.
We're going to do this backwards.
And because you got to draft the best ones first.
That's how drafts work.
Right. So the daily drafts for the next 4 days will be the top 40 players in the NFL. So look forward to that at the top of the 5 o'clock hour, the third hour of the program here on ESPN Asheville.
We also have news.
Is it breaking news?
No.
Oh.
If you listen to this show over the last few days, you have heard us talking about the battle for the belt.
Yes.
Beer City's best fantasy football player. We are actually crowning that. Well, I have an addendum to that. Our friends at WNC Auto Detailing are adding a $500 voucher to the winner.
Nice.
That's a lot of detailing of your car.
That is.
And that's not the only one. It's just the only one I can give you right now.
There you go.
I'm telling you, this is a contest you're going to want to be in. This is a contest you're going to want your friends in, because we're going to be talking about this all football season long.
Building a big old prize pack for the winner of the Battle of the Belt. Who's going to be Beer City's best? You can click the link in the description of the YouTube video to get all signed up for it. You can also find it on our social medias. And you can go to the Patreon. Patreon.com/thesportsocracy, and you can get Jeremy's Mullet's money-making fantasy draft kit along with entries into it, depending on what tier of the draft kit you want to purchase.
We've got a lot of things going into this. The support on this has been incredible, and we will be announcing even more things as time goes on.
Indeed.
Just put it this way. We're not done yet.
This has been the season of announcements in college football. We had, of course, the Big Ten making their big move to get USC and UCLA. We already had the Oklahoma, Texas to the SEC. We already knew that was going to happen. We've got transfer portal stuff. We've got NIL controversies all over the place. And it looks like Notre Dame is just going to sit back and continue to be independent.
The report that is out today is Notre Dame is leaning towards staying independent. They were wanting $75 million a year for their media rights. Apparently, NBC has come in at $60.
Mm-hmm.
And they went, okay, in.
Because they still have money from the ACC. Their deal with the ACC still continues. And they get $10 million a year from the ACC media deal because of their loose affiliation with the conference. So if they get 60 from NBC and 10 from the ACC, hey, you're close to your $75 million goal, plus you get the flexibility of staying independent.
And I'm going to say, you're going to regret this. Here's why. NBC has made it very clear that they're more invested in the Big Ten than they are in you. Fact or fiction?
I would say fact.
What does that tell you? So if you take NBC's money, what do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen to that schedule? A few years down the line, NBC starts swinging their money around. You not think there's going to be more Purdue's on that schedule? Don't think there's going to be more Northwesterns on that schedule?
On Notre Dame's schedule?
Absolutely. You already played those two reasonably frequently anyway.
I don't necessarily agree with you.
Okay, you tell me how. There's one basic tenet in life that is 1,000% undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Follow the money.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of money is in it for NBC if they book Notre Dame against
You're double
Purdue?
booking what you already have. I'm double booking with Notre Dame, which that's cute. That's sweet. We like Notre Dame. They're fine. They sell reasonably well. But we are heavily invested into the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to sell Ohio State. I don't need to sell Michigan or Penn State. I need to sell lowly little Northwestern. If you don't think they'll swing their weight around in that, you're not as acclimated to big money deals as I think you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's 100% how this is going to go. We'll double dip. This gives us inventory where we can promote schools that we're more invested in than we are in you. And it's a cumulative you. Obviously, they're more invested in Notre Dame than they are in Rutgers.
Right.
But they're invested in the conference heavily.
Mm-hmm.
So I could easily see a path that in a 12-game schedule, Notre Dame has, 5 rolling with Stanford and USC and the teams that they play virtually every year.
Mm-hmm.
I could see the other half of their schedule being Big Ten games. And so what are you actually getting? What are you actually getting? The reason they have long said that they don't want to be in a conference is because they don't want to be told who to play.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think NBC is going to do that? Really? Investing billions in the Big Ten, and you think they're going to be okay with, I'm sure that Army game will be fun. Okay, then.
Right.
Okay, then.
You can get that out of the way. I've always been on that. I don't understand why they still play those games. I know it means something to Notre Dame fans.
No, I get it. Here's what Notre Dame does not seem to be understanding. Notre Dame at this point is the best typewriter salesman on earth. The only problem is that the PC's out now, and so a typewriter is really antiquated.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you're the one independent that can make just a little bit of money, a little bit, that's fine. The narrative has changed. If you think now you're just going to take NBC's money at $60 million a year, and nope, we still have autonomy, we're not in a conference. Okay. Let's see what that schedule looks like. I'll say 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a funny feeling it's going to look like a Big Ten light. And then what does that really do?
But what does that do?
You're not catching Ohio State. I hate to break it to you. They're not wasting a non-conference game on you if they don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they will this year because they're going to boat race you. But you're not catching Michigan. You're not going to catch the high side of that. That's the reason you join the conference, is because then you can actually control that. We get them in some kind of cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have no say.
I just don't feel like that gives anything to NBC.
It gives a reason for their product that they're more invested in than you to get a prime placement.
So they're more
It's marketing 101.
But
I'm investing a little in you,
right.
And now I can tell you what to do. I've been the one that cut these checks. I'm telling you right now, there's more into this than you're saying there is. I'm totally vested here.
But again, I don't see what what NBC will gain from making Notre Dame play Northwestern.
What do they gain from Army? Oh, you get the 1-2. Your way's not working. I can double dip here and throw an extra of my teams so that, all right, I'll use the Northwestern example. Let's say Northwestern has a running back. That's a whole lot of fun to watch. But the chances of, on a national scale, anybody watching Northwestern play Maryland is less than 0. How do you get that? How do you get some hype behind that guy? Chuck him against Notre Dame. We know you'll watch that. You have forever. Doesn't do the greatest number, but at least now we'll get the Notre Dame fans watching Northwestern. We'll get them watching Rutgers. We'll get them watching Maryland, because that's what we care about. Notre Dame thinks that they are the big dog in the locker room. They're not. They're not. At this point, you're barely the towel boy. That's where you sit in this. And the more you stiff-arm conferences and say, no, we're Notre Dame, we're better than this. Are you in a better position in 2022 than you were in 1992?
No.
No, and not even close. Why? Because you didn't acclimate to the times. You thought we're a brand. There are no more brands in college football. I hate to break that to you. There aren't. The brands are the SEC and the Big Ten. USC, which is one of the biggest brands in college football, one of the glamour schools in college football, went, we have to be affiliated with the big boys. Because now this is not a, well, what does your schedule say and what do the computers say? No, now this is all eyeball test. All of it. So if you're Notre Dame, you're looking at this going, well, we can continue to do it our way, and maybe we'll get that 4th seat at the table. There's no doubt you're going to get a seat at the table. The problem is that you're going to continue to fall behind in recruiting. You're going to continue to fall behind in Q rating and everything else. And 30 years from now, you're going to have regressed as far as you did since 1992. In 2052. Because you're short-sighted. I saw this and audibly laughed out loud. Like, okay, you just keep doing the independent thing. It's going great for you.
Right. Notre Dame continues to I disagree. They are still a brand. They're still a brand in football. It's because
I think our definition of brand is different.
Okay.
There's not a brand that can live on its own. There's not. You need help.
Agreed. And that's why Notre Dame did the deal with the ACC.
Oh, yeah, because that's really going to – I'm sure nobody is – we're all waiting with bated breath for Notre Dame and Syracuse or Notre Dame and Boston College.
I didn't say you were.
But that's what I'm saying.
But that's
you
what you
need
did.
to be propped up at this point. Notre Dame needs to be propped up at this point.
I would agree. And the ratings from last year would show that I'm right. The ratings, again, dropped 48% on NBC last year for Notre Dame only football. Because you're just not.
But how does that say you're right? I don't get how that says that actually screams why you're wrong.
What?
Because there's no built-in tie of why we watch this. After the break, I'm going to pull up Notre Dame's schedule. I want to prove a point.
Okay. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingles Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingles Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
The night race. It's as American as Uncle Sam deadlifting 350 while drinking a Busch Light outside his camper in a national park. It's as American as Earnhardt rattling Terry's cage. It's the Bass Pro Shops night race at Bristol Motor Speedway. And it's a cutoff race in the NASCAR playoffs. You remember what happened last year, right? Be there September 17th. Go to BristolMotorspeedway.com and get your tickets before they're gone. Can I get a hell yeah?
When you have trouble sleeping, it's tough. When kids have trouble sleeping...
Mom, I can't sleep. Dad, just one more story?
For nights like this, try Vicks Pure Z's Kids. Our great-tasting gummies are specially formulated for kids with a unique blend of botanicals and a low dose of melatonin to support their natural sleep cycle. Best of all, they're drug-free and non-habit-forming. Help your child fall asleep naturally with Pure Z's Kids Gummies. Consult with a doctor before use. For ages 4 and up.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man!
Oh, Notre Dame leaning towards staying independent. NBC apparently ready to shell out $60 million for the continuing rights to Notre Dame football games.
Hey, and you get Jason Garrett on these broadcasts now.
Yeah. Does he just slow clap?
This is must-watch television. During the break, I wanted to affirm what I was going to say before I said it.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame played 12 games last year, 13 if you include the bowl game. Do you know what games NBC got?
What are those?
They played Toledo, Purdue, Cincinnati, Virginia Tech, North Carolina, Navy, Virginia, Georgia Tech. That's what NBC got for their money.
Mm-hmm.
You think they're happy with that? You want to know why the rating went down 48%? Because you played a bunch of dog water teams that all have very light fan bases. Carolina was the best team on that schedule.
Cincinnati.
The Cincinnati wasn't. That was an ESPN game as well.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no, Cincinnati wasn't. Wisconsin was.
Oh,
that was a Fox game.
Okay.
I had that wrong when I said it to you in the break.
Okay.
Cincinnati. Okay, that's what you're clinging to. Tremendous. We got an AAC team. That's what we're getting for $60 million. And you don't think when the powers that be have this deal sitting with the Big Ten, they go, yeah, that Toledo game, that's done.
Mm-hmm.
No more of that.
Absolutely, but they're not going to replace it with Purdue.
Purdue's already on the schedule. They already play Purdue.
They won't
reasonably regularly. You're not getting Ohio State because you don't have the NBC with money or no money.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the weight to tell Ohio State you have to play a home and home with Notre Dame. Because they will tell you where to go and how to get there. As will Michigan, as will Penn State.
Uh-huh.
So what else are you going to do? The Wisconsin game was fine.
Mm-hmm.
It was an absolute blowout, which is why the number went down.
To Wisconsin, Iowa, Michigan State.
You know what all three teams you just said have in common?
What's that?
They don't rate worth squat outside of the Northeast.
But Northwestern does.
I didn't say they did.
Okay.
I'm saying we're stuck with a $60 million deal. We're not getting the ones that rate nationally. So why in the world would we want you playing Georgia Tech that nobody outside of Atlanta cares about?
Well, that they don't have any control over. Notre Dame is under contract with the ACC as long as it still exists.
And there's a high probability it's not going to exist. And it takes a lawyer who's been out of school for about 5 seconds, the second either Clemson or Florida State jump, to go, that's not what we signed up for. You could get a court-appointed attorney that could probably get Notre Dame out of that deal.
I'm just saying, if things stay status quo, which we know they probably won't, but if they did, Notre Dame's under contract with the ACC until 2036. So if that still exists, then either they're going to have to pay big to get those games off the schedule, or they still have to deal with 5 ACC games a year.
And as long as Florida State, Clemson, I'll even to a lesser extent say North Carolina and Virginia Tech are in that, they'll probably be fine. The minute they're not there, and there's a possibility that none of the schools I just said are in the ACC 2 years from now.
Possibly.
Out. And they will be used as a stomping ground for the Big Ten. It's the only thing that makes sense. There's no other reason that NBC would be even ponying up what they're saying for Notre Dame. It doesn't make any sense. It hadn't made any sense for years. And now you're losing the buy yourself window because you have to compete with the SEC game and a Big Ten game that's going on CBS. You think the ratings were bad when it was just you? Wait till you see what it looks like now.
Right.
I'm just saying, the people that make these decisions don't tend to be idiots. And there is absolutely nothing about this that makes even the smallest bit of sense to me. Unless they're planning on using you to prop up what they really care about, which is the Big Ten.
So for $60 million, NBC will have the ability to tell them who to schedule.
I'm not saying that they will have the ability to say every game they have. I'm telling you those ACC games will be a thing of the past. There will be no more Georgia Tech. And if you think that Notre Dame's got good attorneys, you should see what NBC has.
Right. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We'll take a quick break, then we'll get just a bit outside, and then we'll take a closer look at the Big Ten in this upcoming 2022 season. It's Ohio State and then everybody else. Or is it?
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, some gray weather sticking around for the rest of the week as a big upper-level weather system pulls into the Carolinas, kind of an unusual August weather pattern. That's going to keep our numbers in the 70s, about 10 degrees cooler than average through the rest of the week and the weekend. 60 tonight with a stray shower. Afternoon showers Wednesday, Thursday. Cool temperatures by August standards. Highs in the mid-70s, lows in the upper 50s near 60. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Napa Auto Parts. When your ride fires on all cylinders, so do you. That's why Napa is on a mission to keep you in motion. With nearly 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores and over 17,000 Napa Auto Care centers, the Napa network has everything you need to get up and go.
Are you sick and tired of that constant pain in your knees or hips or back? Especially this time of year. You need to be moving pain-free, right? Just contact the team at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is helping people here every day, giving them lasting pain relief using the latest advances in regenerative medicine. The science is simple. They concentrate your own body's healing agents and apply them to your aching joints, restoring and repairing damaged tissue with no drugs, no steroids, and no surgery. Listen, the old remedies for pain are not the only remedies you need. Learn more about how regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics can change your life. Make this the last summer you suffer from chronic pain. They've got clinics here and all over America. This is the exciting, new, natural way to deal with joint pain with no side effects and no downtime. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. Locations in Asheville and Greenville. 828-333-9517 in Asheville and Greenville.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning, the most trusted and reviewed cleaning company in town. Take advantage of their back-to-school sale going on now. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $129 when you mention ESPN Asheville. Easily schedule your cleaning online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. And today, an update on the Deontay Johnson story. Deontay Johnson, Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver. Remember I told you the story that Flexwork Sports Management was suing Deontay Johnson for not showing up to his own youth football camp back in May. Well, now we have finally heard from the lawyers for Deontay Johnson, and they say this is completely off base. That all of the claims that he willfully did not show up for the training camp or for the youth camp are completely false. They assert that Flexworks was supposed to set up all of the travel for Deontay Johnson to show up. And apparently, they failed to do so. The report that Deontay Johnson showed up to the airport to get on the plane and it got delayed, and then instead of jumping on the next flight, he just left, they say that is BS as well. And they say that the frivolous lawsuit is nothing more than a money grab with unfounded expenses and charges. And it's just a way for a company to try to get how did they put it here? Go away money from a professional football player. So don't know that this is going to be settled anytime soon. That actually Flexworks was the problem here, not Deontay Johnson. But of course that's what you're going to say. It's your own youth football camp, dude. It's on you to show up.
There's no doubt who the bad guy in my story is. It's the great one, Wayne Gretzky. Don't lie about things, because he did, and now he's being sued for it.
Oh.
He apparently befriended the Steven Sparks, the guy that owns OMG Gum. It's a weight loss chewing gum.
Uh-huh.
And he said that he lost 35 pounds using the gum.
Just chewing gum.
He was enough of a spokesperson for them that they hired his wife as a spokesperson in 2018. There's only one problem with that. It never happened. And apparently it was very obvious. And now the great one is being sued for $10 million.
Holy cow.
Mr. Sparks claims that he lost $10 million after reinvesting both money and services into the gum. So apparently he used Wayne Gretzky as this is why this works.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it didn't. What I'm assuming is this was a beta phase or something like that, and they used the great one as the guinea pig,
Yeah,
for
it's
lack
the
of a better
face.
word.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, apparently as they went down the rabbit hole, they figured out that this is a bunch of hokum, which for me, marketing guy, you lost me at weight loss chewing gum, of which there's a 4-word phrase for my weird story, too, where you lose me. Dive bar ice cream.
Huh.
That's weird. It's weird, and I don't really need to know much more than that.
Right. So Wayne Gretzky said he lost 35 pounds chewing this OMG gum, and it never happened.
And
he never lost a single pound.
It didn't work, and this guy wasted a whole bunch of money trying to make it work.
I have never heard of that.
I just want all right. We all know that I'm reasonably blunt.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I want to know. What dum-dum looks at a chewing gum and goes, if I chew that, I'm just going to magically lose weight? It doesn't matter what else I do. I don't ever have to exercise. I don't have to do squat. I just have to chew 2 sticks of gum a day, and I lose all this weight. To me, that's kind of like people that fall for psychics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like, you wanted to believe that, and that's fine, but don't be mad when it didn't work.
Right.
John Edwards. You remember the guy that used to have a show on ABC? Crossing over with John Edwards.
Yeah. I was thinking.
Yeah, he was sending people into your house to pull out records out of your files.
Of course, I was thinking the former senator who ran for president. Not
Also
that John
didn't
Edwards.
end well. Really?
No, didn't end
to
well
be
for him
honest with
either.
you, famous John Edwards have not typically gone well.
There is a way. There is a program that you can lose a lot of weight with.
And we can verify this.
Absolutely. Since Thanksgiving, I have lost over 85 pounds with the PhD weight loss program. Their healthy nutrition has changed my life. I am dropping weight at a clip of about 2.5 pounds a week, and it's all because PhD, they gave me a plan that's foolproof. I mean, it's not chewing 2 sticks of gum a day. It's markedly harder than that. But the plan is right there in front of you, and if you follow it, you're going to lose the weight. I'm wearing large size clothes now. My family members are calling me the little guy. I'm about to turn 40, and I'm in the best shape I've ever been in.
I had slightly different weight loss goals than Tank. I was never aggressively overweight. I had just gotten very lazy, and most of it was due to my food choices. Fast food was easier. Well, this is a plan where the food is actually easier than fast food. Much of it is provided for you. All you have to do is follow the plan. I'm back down to my high school weight, and it's all thanks to the plan and program of PhD Weight Loss.
Dr. Ashley Lucas is the founder of PhD Weight Loss, the creator of the program, and now she's also a best-selling author. You can get her book, 5 Steps to Reset the Scale, today. Go to myphdweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans. The Big Ten is where it's all at this, or is going to be.
It's not where it's all at this year.
It's not where it's all at this year. It's
this
where
year
it's going to be.
This year, it's how badly can Ohio State just run roughshod through this conference?
Just laps, just running laps around the field.
Who's close? Who's even close?
I mean, last year, Michigan got the win.
That was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, you weighed like 4 bills. There's a lot of things happen in a year.
Right.
I'm just telling you, Michigan's not even the ballpark. You lose 2 of the best pass rushers in college football, and I'm not saying you don't have replacements. You just don't have that kind of replacement.
You lost a lot out of that team, obviously, that made the college football playoff. They got the big win over Ohio State last year, pulled out the surprise and made the playoff, won the Big Ten. Michigan State has been getting a lot of pub.
You want to talk about a team that is just going to piddle in people's cornflakes. It is the Michigan State Spartans.
Penn State, there's some hype around Penn State and James Franklin, the things that are going on up there in Happy Valley. But no, I mean, this is Ohio State. Ohio State was the best offense in college football last year, numbers-wise. And I don't see that really changing. I mean, yes, you lost 2 stud wide receivers.
It's okay. You got 2 more.
Exactly. You've got 2 more coming right behind them. In fact, neither Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson actually led the team in receiving last year. It was the guy who's going to be the number 1 this year, or Jackson Smith and Jigba. And then you got Marvin
and
Harrison behind him.
And that's a little biased because he did have 4 jillion yards in the bowl game. So that weighted things a little bit.
95 catches last year.
I'm
That's
well aware of that. He was very good, and he's going to be very good.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, you lost 2 of the first receivers taken in the draft. There's going to be a little bit of an acclimation period there. Here's my question with Ohio State. Who is supposed to beat them?
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask it a different way. Who, if something doesn't just go horribly wrong, could beat them? Would you like to hear their road games this year? Because I firmly believe, I don't care if it's Alabama, I don't care if it's Georgia, I don't care who it is. Nobody's going into the shoe and beating this team. Fact or fiction?
I'd say fact.
All right, here are your road games. At Michigan State, who's missing their top 50 draft pick running back that you scattered, smothered, and covered last year.
Mm-hmm.
I could argue you're better, and they are drastically worse. Penn State in Happy Valley. Yes, they have a quarterback that I think's been there since the Clinton administration and John Clifford. What else do you have that is supposed to scare me? And he ain't all that good in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2 are Northwestern and Maryland. That's the 4 road games they play all year long. I could see a path that Ohio State goes into the college football playoff where the final score of every game they have played has been 3 touchdowns or worse.
Mm-hmm.
I could see them beating every team on this schedule by 21 or more in a total tour. Michigan got us last year. They're not getting us this year.
Right.
I don't believe in J.J. McCarthy. I don't believe in McNamara. They're fine. They're not this. They're not C.J. Stroud.
Mm-hmm.
They're not this offense. So for me, the Big Ten is Ohio State and a big conglomeration of blech.
Going to be competitive teams outside of Ohio State, but nobody.
They'll be very competitive with each other.
But nobody touches that tier.
No.
Nobody touches that national tier that right now I feel like it's really just 3 teams. It's Ohio State, it's Alabama, it's Georgia. And then you've got
I would largely agree with that.
And then you've got a gap between the other teams. Not saying somebody else can't spoil the party. Sorry, Clemson fans, but you're a distant 4th in all of the polls.
And I'll be honest with you, I think it's a little forward to even put you there. But to me, there are 3 clear, unless something just goes horribly wrong. You're going to have Ohio State, you're going to have Georgia, you're going to have Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
The only competition really is for that 4th spot. Now, the biggest question to me, who is the second best team in this conference? Because I don't think we're going to say the same school.
I would say it's probably Michigan.
That's what I thought you were going to say?
Yeah.
There's a lot of turnover at Michigan. Defense coordinator's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Many of your stars are gone. Why are we treating 1 year with Michigan? We're looking at that as, oh, well, no, that's the gold standard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did you forget the 10 years directly preceding to that? Did you forget that your coach was trying to take any NFL job that would be offered to him? Am I the only one that remembers these things?
Everything's fine. Harbaugh may have flirted with the NFL. Probably, well, actually, I was going to say probably, but probably not for the last time. But he's still a good coach.
He's fine. He's fine. I'm just looking at all of the things that you lost. I feel like last year was a bit of an aberration.
Okay.
And all of those advantages that I just said with Ohio State, you don't get all of those. You have to go to Iowa. That won't be pleasant. You catch, you get the gross in between Michigan State and Ohio State. I could see them losing to Michigan State, who I don't believe in the least. I just don't think this team's very good.
Mm-hmm.
You lost a lot. I think they're Big Ten, current Big Ten.
You're
good.
You are the talent evaluator, the talent scout. You do all of the heavy lifting for all of the draft and thing. The 2 quarterbacks from Michigan.
If you have 2, you don't have 1. I've lived by that theory for many years.
I've always agreed with that. But which one do you think can take this team further? Is it J.J. McCarthy or is it Cade McNamara?
J.J. McCarthy's without a doubt the more talented of the two.
I agree.
But it tells me something that you still play this Cade McNamara game. What that means is I feel like his arm is probably not good enough. And the fact that he's mobile and can do all of the rushing things, they're trying to turn two guys into one premier quarterback, and it's never worked, and it never will work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of my huge drawbacks with Michigan. I just don't think they're that good. And I don't think Michigan State's that good. There's one is clear, I think then two is clear, and then there's a pile of filth, and you get into the next five.
So Penn State.
It's Penn State. It's Penn State. You have a very vet quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in James Franklin. I think the defense is fine, will be fine. I've watched them lose this many players before. You just go into the next year and they've replaced themselves somehow.
Mm-hmm.
The offense is never good. I mean, be really honest with yourself. Penn State hasn't been legitimately good on offense in 20 years.
No. That's why That's why their best games are always like these 17-7 defensive thrillers. I can't remember the last time you looked at a Penn State team and went, man, they could just put up points like crazy.
With Kerry Collins.
That's exactly the era I was thinking of.
And I feel like there's two games that people look at on their schedule and go, well, that could be tough very early on. At Purdue, you will beat them by 40.
Agreed.
I cannot wait to pick that. But it's at Purdue. I don't care if they played it on Mars. And then you have to go to Auburn on September 17th. That's when I feel like people will actually talk about them because they are going to eviscerate Auburn at home.
Yep. All right, so you got Ohio State 1, Penn State 2. Isn't there another division of the Big Ten?
Yeah. The Big Ten also here.
Let's talk about the Big Ten West after we come back.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have two on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Roots and wings. The two greatest gifts any parent can give their kid. But when it's time for them to head off to college, there's also groceries, laundry detergent, notebook paper, ironing instructions, and futons that assemble with parts left over. At Ingles, we have all the comforts of home right around the corner. We know that life's biggest steps are best taken with faith and trust in the ones you love the most. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
Need an appliance? Shop the new appliance truckload event at Lowe's, going on now. From refrigerators and ranges to dishwashers and laundry pairs, we have a large selection of appliances from the brands you trust. Plus, get store-wide savings by shopping other in-stock categories. Go to your local Lowe's store or visit Lowes.com to shop the appliance truckload event and find what you need now. While supplies last, valid through 8/17.
O'Reilly. When was the last time you changed your spark plugs? Replacing your spark plugs can restore the efficiency and performance of your vehicle. Stop by and get a $12 O'Reilly Auto Parts gift card after mail-in rebate when you purchase 4 or more select Iridium spark plugs. Get better performance with new spark plugs from your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888-285-2664. 888
Keep listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival, September 23rd and 24th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Tickets are on sale right now. AXS.com.
Stream it free on the CW app and CWTV.com.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival is connecting all of us.
Brought to you by the CW's new hit series, All American Homecoming. Stream every episode now for free, only on the CW app.
I love shelter dogs, and Rusty's Legacy in Marion is a no-kill shelter that's going through a tough time. The pandemic has caused an unexpected wave of dogs being surrendered and abandoned. Donations to Rusty's Legacy are down by 40%. How can you help? You can adopt or foster a dog, make a cash donation, or become a volunteer. I hope that you will reach out today. Find Rusty's Legacy on Facebook or call 828-460-3190. 828-460-3190.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It's ESPN Asheville. Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene, and we're running down the Big Ten. Big Ten East is jam-packed. I mean, obviously, Ohio State's at the top of the conference, and then you got that sweet little spot of Michigan, Penn State, Michigan State, teams that are going to be interesting.
That's how you see it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not so much how I see it.
Okay.
Because I have Ohio State, drop-off, Penn State. I don't even have the two Michigan schools at 3.
Really?
I think Maryland's 3.
With that high-flying offense?
I'm not sure half the teams in this conference can take advantage of the fact they're so bad defensively.
Mm-hmm.
You have to actually be able to score for that to matter.
Talia Tagovailoa throwing to
Raheem Jarrett.
Who's the other one?
Dante
Demas. That's his name.
Oh, I love that team so much.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you want to hear just since we're talking about a Tagovailoa, and I've been trying to find a way to get this stat in for 2 days.
Oh, gosh.
30-plus yard touchdown passes.
Uh-huh.
Who has more, Tua Tagovailoa or Odell Beckham Jr.?
It's got to be Tua, right?
Nope. It's Odell, 2-1.
Yeah.
Just felt the urge since we're talking about a Tagovailoa.
Got to throw that shade. Just wait till that all changes with Tyreek Hill and the fold.
Not
down
so
in
sure.
Miami now.
Not so sure.
You look at the Big Ten West, though, and this is the boring division. It's the boring division of the Big Ten. You got Iowa, tough-nosed. Wisconsin, same thing. Just that bring your lunch pail to work kind of football. And we thought that
lunch pail to work. It's accurate.
Yeah. What?
For me, it's more like bring your pillow to the game because a nap will be lovely between the second
It's going to be
and fourth
a snooze
quarter.
fest. Stop that.
I don't really find any of these teams to be overly dynamic.
I mean, remember last year after the first game of the year where Graham Mertz came out and set the world on fire.
And then
he all came crashing down
and then
back to earth.
Poopy.
But Wisconsin's going to do what Wisconsin does. They're going to have a really stiff defense, and they are going to run the ball down your throat. Ches Malusi's back this year. They've got another good running back on that team as well. If you're looking for a dark horse in the Big Ten, you could do worse than Wisconsin, but this is not a dark horse year.
There's another team in the Big Ten West that I like drastically more than the two you just said.
Okay.
It's row the boat.
Minnesota.
It's row the boat. PJ Fleck, baby!
But what do they bring to the table?
They can run the ball at you so aggressively that it is pitiful. Because guess who's back?
Oh, Ibrahim.
You remember that running back that was just eviscerating Ohio State last year and then tore his ACL in the third quarter?
Yeah.
Well, guess who's back? He's back. And I look at Minnesota and go, no one's going to talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
They will be pathetically overlooked. And their schedule is as bad as I have ever seen from a Power 5 school. Yes, you have to play at Penn State. Other than that, you play at Michigan State, at Illinois, or at Nebraska, and at Wisconsin. I could argue that game at Wisconsin to end the year is for the Big Ten West.
Okay.
Now, the bad thing is you have to go to Camp Randall, which will not be pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
But I really believe in this team. I have said forever, I think P.J. Fleck's one of the 15 best coaches in this country. And not just because he wears a tie and he's a bit bizarre. He just has this ability to take lesser talented programs to higher heights. Well, now he doesn't have a talent deficiency.
Mm-hmm.
He lost his best player in the first week of the season, where they were playing heads up with Ohio State. And I like them a lot.
Okay.
I do. I like them a lot.
All right. So you got Minnesota as the best team in this division?
They're my 1A. I will say Wisconsin's my 1B, and I think there's a drop-off to Iowa at 3.
Okay.
And then that's where the pile of filth comes in, because the 4 bottom feeders in the Big Ten West, shoo buddy, they are bad.
Mm-hmm.
Purdue may not be that bad. You just lost a lot. You're asking a lot for a school like Purdue to make up for losing a Rondale Moore and a David Bell in consecutive years.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do the greatest job of recruiting playmakers in the first place. And now you're losing. You've already lost one, and now you're having to replace another. I just think that's a very tall ask. They're, to me, more talented than any of the other teams that I lumped into that same category.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this will probably be just a mediocre year. Probably go 7-5, make a bowl game.
Okay.
The other 3, yikes.
Jeremy's all in on Tanner Morgan and the Golden Gophers.
I am.
All right. We shall see. I think the Big Ten championship game probably ends up being Ohio State and Iowa again, and it's not going to be pretty. Because I just look at Ohio State and go, they are far and away more talented than anybody else. Of course, you would have said the same thing about them last year. And then they had some hiccups throughout the year.
And I'm just Nebraska. I feel like we have to mention them because, well, they're here too.
Yeah.
You're replacing Adrian Martinez with, and now his name has gone completely out of my head. There was this fun 3-way trade of mediocre quarterbacks in college football, and I can't remember how it ended. Nebraska's just talentless to me.
I was trying to find the quarterback's name.
I'll find it in the break. It's not clicking with me. Adrian Martinez went to Kansas State, which is going to be a really fun. I have to figure out which one of these is going to win out. Do I love making money on Kansas State, or do I absolutely despise Adrian Martinez more? He cost me a lot of money at Nebraska.
Yeah. No, Adrian Martinez is gone, and Casey Thompson from Texas.
Casey Thompson. Mm-hmm.
He now is the leader for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who are once again irrelevant. Woohoo! You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Yeah, the Big Ten is just Ohio State's world. Everybody else is just living in it.
After the break, we got New York football to talk about. It's not starting well, and I don't like it.
Oh, no. Stick with us after Sports Center. We'll get into it all.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Now, some gray weather sticking around for the rest of the week as a big upper-level weather system pulls into the Carolinas, kind of an unusual August weather pattern. That's going to keep our numbers in the 70s, about 10 degrees cooler than average through the rest of the week and the weekend. 60 tonight with a stray shower. Afternoon showers Wednesday, Thursday. Cool temperatures by August standards. Highs in the mid-70s, lows in the upper 50s near 60. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Discover. We could talk about how complicated other banks make it to redeem credit card rewards. Or we could talk about how with Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Talk about amazing. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
Staples has everything you need for school at prices that won't hold you back. 24-count Crayola crayons and Polly Pocket folders are 50 cents. Select backpacks and lunch sets are $14.99. In-store only. Offer ends 8/27, limit 30. Backpacks end 8/20. Send your kids forward to school at Staples.
Hey you! Do you like sports? Of course you do. But how much do you actually know about the history of sports in this country? If you're not 100% sure about that, check out the new podcast, The Untold History of Sports in America, presented by One Day University. This podcast celebrates the ceremony and examines the controversial storylines around sports in America. Listen to The Untold History of Sports in America from One Day University on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
I love shelter dogs, and Rusty's Legacy in Marion is a no-kill shelter that's going through a tough time. The pandemic has caused an unexpected wave of dogs being surrendered and abandoned. Donations to Rusty's Legacy are down by 40%. How can you help? You can adopt or foster a dog, make a cash donation, or become a volunteer.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news. ESPN's Rich Samini's reporting the knee surgery Jets quarterback Zach Wilson underwent today has been deemed a success. The team will not put a timeline on Wilson's return, but it seems to be the same as the previously mentioned range of 2 to 4 weeks. Joe Flacco is in line to start the regular season opener. Nestor Cortez on the hill tonight when the struggling Yankees look to get back on track as they continue their series against the Rays. After a great start to the season, New York scuffling since the All-Star break. 8-16 has been shut out 4 times the last 9 games. Injuries, just one issue for the Yankees these days, points out ESPN and Yes Network MLB analyst David Cohn.
Their pitching went through a little bit of a slump. Their rotation kind of got knocked around, and the offense was still producing, and now it's just reversed. The last go-round through the rotation, the pitching's actually been pretty good, and now it's the offense that's kind of swamping 2 straight shutouts. So it's kind of that perfect storm of, the old cliche, when we hit, we don't pitch, and when we pitch, we don't hit. And
David Cohn on Barton Hahn. Mets right-hander Carlos Carrasco diagnosed with a left oblique strain. He could miss 3 to 4 weeks.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And, of course, you can see us live in the Ingles studio every afternoon from 3 to 6. On YouTube, just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And while you're on the YouTube video, click on the link to join in the battle for the belt. You want to be a part of this. You want to be crowned Beer City's best fantasy football player. We are doing the charity thing again this year. Proceeds from the Battle for the Belt contest and the fantasy contest go to Eblin Charity's St. Nicholas Project to help out the kids in our area. Have a very, very happy Christmas.
And one of our wonderful sponsors, Western North Carolina Auto Detailing, threw out a $500 voucher to the winner.
That's right.
You can get a lot of services done to your car.
Yeah, we're going to build a hell of a prize pack for the winner of Beer City's best fantasy football player. Get in on it now. Tell your friends about it. You got all, you're in your leagues. Tell all of your friends in the leagues that they can get in on it as well, because it's right around the corner. NFL season is here. We've got news coming out of New York today about Zach Wilson.
The surgery apparently went well.
Why are you disappointed?
I'm not disappointed that the surgery went well. I'm so tired already. Like we're 5 days really into the season, and I'm already worn out. Apparently, they have no interest in Jimmy Garoppolo.
Mm-hmm.
That ship has sailed.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like Joe Falco will be just fine.
Had it been a more serious injury, that would have been a different story. You know that, right?
I'm not so sure that I care. I'm not so sure that I care. Look, this is starting to feel like Christmas when there's a big box under the tree and you stare at it for weeks and then you open it and it sucks. That's how I'm starting to feel. I feel like you have set me up for failure here. I have been so in on the draft and all of the things you added. And it's the Jets. It's the Jets. I know what you're going to do to me. There's an old Artie Lang joke about the Jets. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it, because I can't say it on this show, but I really want to.
At every turn, you're going to be disappointed.
Well, that's the gist, but it's said in a slightly different way.
Of course. But, I mean, you shouldn't be shocked by this.
And you would think I wouldn't be. You would think after 20-plus years, the Jets could never surprise me. And yet, here we are.
You allow yourself to be built up in this manner, and then you're going to be let down because they'll never live up to the expectation.
And I'm going to be honest. I look across the aisle, the other team in New York, and I go, you've got the coach. I don't know that we do. I feel like we've got the GM, and neither of us have a quarterback. And based on Brian Daboll's comment earlier today, I'm reasonably sure that he learned absolutely nothing from his time with the New York Jets.
Okay.
He used to be the quarterback coach of the Jets.
Okay.
He was asked about Tyrod Taylor, and he said over the course of the summer, which is the preseason, we'll be getting Tyrod some first-team reps. You could say that in any other market, and it would be hunky-dunky.
You can't say it in New York?
Can't say it in New York. You know why? Because New York fans, we read the first paragraph. And so now, at every impasse, you're going to be, no matter what Daniel Jones does, every bad game he has will open up the, is now the time? Is it now? How about now? Maybe now? And I said this in the offseason. I think the Giants would be a 7-win team with Tyrod Taylor playing quarterback.
And with Daniel Jones, they're a 4-win team.
4 to 5. There'll be a headache. There are a lot of things to like. Black Cats and Hurricanes in our YouTube comments said, hey, Jeremy, I'm hearing that Darnold might be available. Okay. Don't use my own people against me, all right? I love Sam, and I will love Sam forever. Do I want him wearing a green helmet? Not particularly.
No, you're done with that?
He's already hurt me, all right? Zach Wilson's in the process of hurting me. That is what a relationship with the Jets is. It is just, how are you going to hurt me this time?
It's pretty much every fan's relationship with their team, is it not?
No.
I mean, unless you're...
You name any fan base that can even contend with me. Anyone. The Lions. You've never had as much hope as we've had. We went to back-to-back AFC championship games and lost in some of the most comically stupid ways humanly possible.
Carolina Panther fans, y'all want to jump in on
stop.
this?
Yeah, you stop it. You haven't even had a team as long as I've been doing this. I'll never. The first quarterback to hurt me, Bubby Brister. Contend.
They've been to 2 Super Bowls and have let their fans down at every stretch.
Okay.
Never back-to-back winning seasons.
All right, you've been to 2 Super Bowls. End of message. Repeat the line.
Repeat the line. You at least have conference championships.
We draft a quarterback that I just fall in love with. He has the best nickname humanly possible. He is the MILF Slayer. And I am not more than 40% sure he can play a tree in a child's play. Here's what I know. He took 7 snaps before he got hurt. You know how many of those were positive plays? I was just looking at it going, I just see how this is going to go.
I've tried to warn you. I have tried my best as a friend to warn you not to get your hopes up so high about your team.
The
And
last
you just
time,
can't do it.
the last quarterback to give me any form of hope was Ryan Fitzpatrick. Okay? I do this for a living. I have to eat, sleep, and breathe this. And my team can't even give me one stupid stocking stuffer to make me feel better.
Oh.
We've taken 2 quarterbacks in 5 years, one at 3 and one at 2. I heard Mike Greenberg say the same thing, and everybody made fun of him for you're overreacting. No, I am not. Okay? I am not. I'm not overreacting. You have done this to me too many times, and now I have not had this much hope, and I can't tell you how long. Because I do feel like we got the right GM.
Okay.
I don't know that we have anything else. You probably got a few players that are situated correctly. But somehow, I read 2 stories of both teams in New York. And the only thing I could think was, are we cursed? Like, is Jimmy Hoffa actually buried under the new MetLife? We looked under the Meadowlands. He wasn't there. What in the world is happening in this town?
Lance Dominguez in the YouTube comments. Give him his flowers. What about the Bears? The Bears are close.
You won a Super Bowl in my almost lifetime.
I was going to say in 1986.
Ours was in 1969, okay? The people that were babies when we won a Super Bowl are on AARP now. Don't mess with me, all right? Don't mess with me.
Don't mess with me.
I was so hyped up. And now it's amazing how big of a difference a week can make.
It's amazing to me how quickly you just give up. Because
that's what New York sports fans do.
Yeah,
I mean, we give up.
And I get that. I mean, I've been around longer than you have, and I get it. I understand. But you got a 2 to 4 week absence for your quarterback who just had a successful knee procedure, knee scope.
Yeah, and then read the rest of it. We're not going to put him back on the field till he's 100%.
Oh,
we're reticent till we're going to start Joe Falco week 1.
You should.
There's a quarterback that knows this system inside and out that you could probably get for 4 bird feathers and $8. And no, we can't do that. We believe in Joe Flacco. All 76 and a half of him.
I believe it's a little more than $8, isn't it?
There's no telling how much that San Francisco would eat. He's not going to be on that roster. We all know that. We've been saying it for months. And the fact that you're so quick to shut this down, what's the downside? Here's my question to this. What's the downside? Why would you not want Garoppolo on this roster?
Well, you typically don't want to put that kind of pressure on a second-year quarterback, do you? Having a guy who's been to a Super
You've already
Bowl
got
behind
that
him.
pressure. We just built this roster up.
No, there's not, because you don't have anybody screaming,
You don't understand
let's
New York.
start Joe Falco.
They wouldn't be screaming, let's start Jimmy Garoppolo. At first.
Okay.
And we fell in love with Mike White, who couldn't play dead in the Western, and it was super obvious, except for one game against Cincinnati. There's still Jet fans that think he should be the starter. You do not understand how delusional our fan base is.
Okay.
And trust me, Zach Wilson comes out and let's say it's week 2 against Cleveland. He comes out and throws 3 interceptions. There'll be people saying, start Mike White, start Joe Flacco. It doesn't matter because we got hyped up. You pushed all the chips to the middle of the table. You've been playing this Trader Joe. If I've heard that phrase one time, I've heard it a million with Joe Douglas. You made more trades than any GM in the league since you became the GM of the Jets. All with picks and all of these things. Well, now this is when it's finally supposed to be at least better. And I'm going to level with you. I don't know that I believe in Robert Saleh at all. I don't know that I believe in Zach Wilson at all. And the fact that you're just putting your fingers in your ears and going, yeah, you know what? If it's Joe Flacco, it's Joe Flacco. That's the big box under your Christmas tree that's full of socks. And you know what? It's bad to such a point that I'm not sure they're not used socks. They're not even still in the package.
Yeesh.
For nothing else, I feel better.
Good. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Yes, Jeremy suffering from that DFS, delusional fan syndrome, where he allows himself to be built up only to be torn back down by his team. We all fall victim to it now and again. You're going to be fine. It's still a building year. No one's expecting you to do anything great.
But I was.
We
all were. Okay.
It is the Sportsocracy. We'll be back in the Ingles studio right after this.
Your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Heavy traffic time and delays 26 westbound between Upward Road and approaching Chimney Rock Road due to an accident. 26 eastbound is slow between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. In Biltmore Village, US 25 southbound at Lodge Street, an accident has a lane closed near Vanderbilt Park Drive. On the Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road, expect delays. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road, slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by KFC. KFC's $5 mac and cheese bowls. For a limited time, get a big bowl of creamy mac and cheese topped with crispy chicken and sprinkled with even more melty cheese for just $5. Available in classic or spicy. Order now on the KFC app or KFC.com. That's finger licking good.
Suffering from hair loss, bald spots, or receding hairlines? There's a new solution using regenerative medicine that can stimulate hair follicles and give you thicker, fuller hair with no surgery. It's available from the regenerative specialists at QC Kinetics. That's right, the same protocols that help relieve joint pain can be used to give new life to dormant hair follicles. QC Kinetics uses powerful growth factors from your own body, concentrated and applied to your scalp, restoring hair follicles, prevent further loss, and increase hair growth. Regenerative medicine is such a breakthrough. Imagine thicker, fuller hair with no expensive surgery and no downtime. Listen, if you're losing your hair due to aging, pattern baldness, or a medical condition, call now to learn more about exciting natural biologic treatments that can stimulate those dormant hair follicles. You can get your hair back. Get it growing naturally again. Call for a free consultation. Stop thinning hair now. 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football. It's always a bad sign when I walk out of the room. You won't tell me why you're laughing, and I come back in and you haven't stopped since I walked back in here.
I feel like we need some kind of a Jeremy intervention or something. Like, I don't know how because you're a smart cat. You know football inside and out. How do you let yourself get built up like this to be this angry at a preseason game?
I'm going to go back to what was said in our YouTube comments yesterday. There is a lot that can be gleaned in the preseason when you're really bad. I don't think you get how bad it was. Jalen Hurts, who I have said on this show is the least accurate quarterback I have ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody in the frame.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody in the frame. I mean, that's not going to change. You're trotting out 2 of your 3 starters, and there's nobody close. That's not going to stop.
Okay.
And in terms of being built up, I thought this team was 6-11, 7-10.
Right.
At least it's a step forward. I'm not sure you're any better than you were a year ago. And it's not off a preseason game. It's a mixture of things. It's your handling of everything. Smart teams are thrown a situation, and they handle it. The Baltimore Ravens, ask yourself this question.
Mm-hmm.
Before Tyler Huntley, if something had happened to Lamar Jackson, you think they would have just trotted out Joe Flacco? You think they would have just trotted out, whoever's
no,
here.
they trotted out Robert Griffin III.
For a week.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
it
all
wasn't
Zach's
week
gonna
1.
miss.
Maybe.
If they
this
had
is his
gone through,
third soft tissue injury in 2 years.
If he had gone through the knee scope and they said, okay, there was more damage than we thought and he's going to be out 8 to 9 weeks, then they may have gone out and done something different. They may have gone out and got Jimmy Garoppolo.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't think it matters.
Who do you play week 1?
Baltimore Ravens.
You're going to lose that game either way. So,
Okay.
Joe Falco, here we go.
This is not about – you're missing the point. When you have hyped this up as this is the year that you're going to see all of the things because Carl Lawson is back.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have weapons for the young quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've got a running game that our 1 and 2 at running back are second to very few in the league. I'm not going to say second to none, but you've got a lot of draft capital wrapped up in 2 very talented cats.
Right.
And you're trying to sell me on we're going into week 1 with Joe Flacco. And no matter what happens, no matter what, Joe Flacco could still be a starter in the league. You didn't believe that when you said it. And the fact that you've said it 10 times since makes you sound even dumber.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that there is a quarterback sitting out here that nobody seems to want, that knows this offense inside and out, there's no downside. There is 0 negative to bring him in the building. And before you say, well, people be screaming for Jimmy Garoppolo, they already screamed for Mike White.
Mm-hmm.
30% of the fan base thinks Mike White's better than Zach Wilson. When you listen to the fans, you will soon be sitting with them.
Right.
That's not the point. The point is, what's the downside? At least that gives you some form of hope. Joe Flacco gives you no hope. You're beaten before you ever set foot on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Factor fix. If I told you Joe Flacco played 17 games this year, are you winning a game?
Maybe 1.
You're not capped out at what, 4?
Absolutely.
So you're basically just rolling over and dying before it ever starts.
Yes.
And the fact you come out and say, no matter what happens, we're not interested in Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, the schedule makers did that for you.
But the back half of the schedule is lighter.
Mm-hmm.
You should be feeling better about this team by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to wonder if that's going to be the case.
Okay.
And I compare it to Brian Daboll. They're in the same city. Did he say something painfully stupid this morning? Yes, he did. Saying we're going to give first team not because there's anything wrong with it. Because you are not really versed on the audience of which you're speaking to.
Right.
Because you just created yourself a problem. But I look at Brian Daboll and go, you'll figure it out. You're a smart guy.
You don't feel that way about your team.
You haven't given me much of a reason to.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't given me much of a reason to believe that. I want to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, be real honest with yourself. We hyped up Robert Saleh as he was going to be a great coach in this league. Name one halfway intelligent thing you've seen him do in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
There's not one.
Know.
You're the defensive guru that allowed Mac Jones to score 52 points on you last year.
Jets +7.
I want to put that on a shirt.
Jets
just Jets +7.
Yeah.
Nobody will know what it means that doesn't watch this show. But the ones that do, they'll go, ha ha ha. I remember that.
If you're new to the program, last year I picked that week Jets +7 against the New England Patriots.
And I think the final score was 52-14.
Trounced. It was awful.
Zach Wilson threw 4 interceptions, 3 of which were before the end of the first quarter.
But I know you like to play this role of I'm the most abused of all the NFL fans.
There's nobody close.
And the Jets are right there. But Lions, Browns.
You've never had hope like that. You've never had a – now the Browns –
when we had Barry Sanders, we didn't have hope.
Who was your quarterback? Scott Mitchell? No, you didn't have hope. Your 2 best players were Herman Moore and Barry Sanders. That's all well and good. You didn't have a quarterback.
Your quarterback at the time was Mark Sanchez. So when you're talking about, we had hope. Yeah, your quarterback was Mark Sanchez. Just remember that.
There are a handful of quarterbacks in NFL history that have more road playoff wins than Mark Sanchez. Just throwing that out there.
Okay.
You keep throwing Sanchez hate all you want to. It wasn't what that team was about by any stretch.
Mm-hmm.
But no, the Lions never had – well, we went to the AFC Championship game. Surely, next year, same team's coming back. You know how many times this happened to me? 3. 3 times.
3 times. Cleveland Browns.
I'll never forget when we went to the AFC Championship game. This is going to be our year. And Vinny Testaverde slipped on a painted end zone and tore his ACL before the first game started.
Cleveland Browns.
That's being a Jets fan in a nutshell.
The Cleveland Browns have done nothing but disappoint their fans.
You took Baker Mayfield at 1. Sorry, you just keep doing this to yourself. I don't really have a whole lot of sympathy for you.
Not see the same thing with Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson.
And we have several evaluators that watch our show. They'll all tell you. Every one of us had Sam Darnold at 1.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that knows anything about football had Sam Darnold at 1. It wasn't all that close.
Mm-hmm.
I had Josh Allen at 2, and that's just saying I was a little ahead of the curve on that one.
You're not the only abused fan.
I'm not saying I'm the only abused fan. I'm saying comparing other people's sadness to mine, stop that.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
They've never really been good. And I will say you did have that one AFC Championship game run where you went, hey, this is going to be great. And then Doug Marrone eviscerated your team.
Right.
I'll give you – all right, Jacksonville, you're worth talking about. Cleveland Browns, you're worth talking about. Detroit Lions, you're worth talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, stop. Chicago Bears, you have a Super Bowl shuffle. I have a butt fumble, okay? They rhyme. They're not the same thing.
Most years I would try to put my team in that category, but I can't. 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, you got Tom Brady. Go away.
Can't help it. Bill Belichick in the comments, I saw where he was like, I'm looking around this room and I see no friends here because I don't have that problem. Just hang in there, Bill.
Just wait.
Just wait. That New England Patriots thing's going to look real 1989-ish real soon.
I mean, I have a lot of friends. There's a lot of very sad fan bases.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying, mine is the saddest.
Yours
all right?
is the saddest.
Don't compare your sadness to mine.
Who is the worst franchise in the history of the NFL? That's the argument we're having now, apparently.
Oh no, it's because Detroit's worse historically than the Jets. There are so many ways I want to say this. This is where I miss having the uncensored morning show because I could say this how I want to. And, if you don't like it, you just turn it off.
Right.
I can't do that on FCC Air.
No, you cannot.
There has never been a team with more hope that let you down more regularly than this one.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the reaction has just made me go, you know what? It's happening again. I'm watching it fall out in front of my eyes. And there's nothing I can do about it. I have to come in here and talk about it every single day, and it is going to get worse and worse and worse and worse.
I just want to remind everybody who's listening and watching that this 30-minute pity fest.
It's not a pity fest. I don't want your pity. I do it to myself. I buy the merchandise. I didn't tap out on this team when I was 8, and every person looked at me and said, why are you destining yourself to a life of just pure sadness? Have you ever met a happy middle-aged Jets fan? No, because they don't exist.
Of course not.
That's like a Sasquatch. You would immediately, if somebody said, I'm a Jets fan, I'm 50 years old, and I'm happy, are you an alien? Did you possibly come from another planet? Or are you lying to me? Because those two things do not survive in the same airspace.
This half hour of depression, all spurred by good news coming out of New York. that the knee scope on Zach Wilson was successful, and that he will maybe miss a week of the regular season.
Oh, no, they didn't put a timetable on it at all.
Oh, I thought they still had the timetable at 2 to 4 weeks.
Nope. They said nothing about a timetable. They said if Zach Wilson doesn't play, Joe Falco is our guy. A, not putting a timetable on it makes me a little nervous.
Mm-hmm.
B, shutting down the Jimmy Garoppolo thing just tells me same old Jets.
Okay. The story that I'm reading from Rick Cimini says the initial timetable is still the timetable.
And it's not officially the time. Look, I like Rich. I know Rich.
Yeah.
None of us know. None of us know what the timetable is. We said 2 to 4 weeks of depending on what shows up. Yeah, you had to have the meniscus trimmed.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing more drastic in there. The timetable didn't get longer based on what was said. I don't really care about the timetable, if I'm being really honest with you. You can tell me he misses 4 weeks. It doesn't really matter. What bothers me is that, A, you think your quarterback is so fragile that having somebody like Garoppolo in the room is going to be a problem. Meanwhile, there are people that actually think Mike White is the future of this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
None of that matters. None of that matters. You're all in. So when this goes 4-13, which is my fear, and you're all fired, I'm going to sit back and go, well, I tried to tell you. I tried to tell you that's how that was going to go. And now, you know what's sold? The next hope. Who's going to let me down next?
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Coming up after the break, we're going to get weird, and we've got a big disagreement going on with one SEC school between two of their top coaches.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, some gray weather sticking around for the rest of the week as a big upper-level weather system pulls into the Carolinas, kind of an unusual August weather pattern. That's going to keep our numbers in the 70s, about 10 degrees cooler than average through the rest of the week and the weekend. 60 tonight with a stray shower. Afternoon showers Wednesday, Thursday. Cool temperatures by August standards. Highs in the mid-70s, lows in the upper 50s near 60. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is crawling from the US 25 connector in East Flat Rock to approaching Chimney Rock Road due to an accident. 26 westbound, then light delays approaching Long Shoals Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 west and eastbound delays between the French Broad River and the Blue Ridge Parkway. On the Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Pisgah Highway, an accident has been reported. Sweeten Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Are you a safe driver? Are you looking to save money? With DriveWise from Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you can save. At Allstate, better protection costs a whole lot less. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Saw some family this past weekend for the first time in a long time, and I have a new nickname. They now are all calling me the little guy. Makes you feel pretty good after being the big guy for as long as I have been. Over 6 months now, I've been on the PhD weight loss program, and I've lost over 80 pounds. I'm knocking on the door of 210 pounds, which is something that I never thought was possible. When I first went into PhD and sat down with Dr. Ashley Lucas, she asked me, what do you want to lose? I said, I don't know, 40, 50 pounds probably. She said, you could stand to lose more than that. I'm not to my goal yet, but I'm actually believing that that goal is reachable now. Again, a little over 6 months into the program, down more than 80 pounds with PhD. You need to change your habits. You need to change your life. Get with myphdweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss is the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. a premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Here's to the helpers. To the ones who grow up knowing that life is about more than finishing first. It's about finishing together. At Ingles, we know that doing your part doesn't mean doing for yourself. It means doing what you can. Even though you might not seek the spotlight, we see you, and we're grateful. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy inside the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And it's time to get weird. And this is actually not weird. This is absolutely the truth. I just find it weird that every time this subject comes up, everyone, at least within earshot of me, tries to refute the facts. And what do we know about facts? Facts don't care about your feelings.
And these are not facts. This is a survey, and it could have been a survey of stupid people.
It's not a survey. It's not a survey at all. There is a new law on the books in Utah. Utah has now become the latest state that now requires drivers to wait until the last second before merging into traffic. It's called the zipper merge, people, and that is how it is done.
So, basically, the state of Utah just said all of our motorists are now going to be jerks.
It's always this discussion of, oh, you're being a jerk. Why are you cutting in line? It's not cutting in line. It's using the road the most efficient way.
See, and I would agree with this, except for the fact that you can put road signs up 2 miles before this happens.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't
we wanna
tell
let you
me
know. We want to let you know
that
the merge
person could
point
not
is
have gotten
coming
over.
in 2 miles. The merge point is not right now. The merge point's in 2 miles.
So my way, nobody slows down. Your way,
Not
everybody
even
has to-
kind of true.
You have plenty of time to merge. If you just
Not
merge
even
when you
kinda
see
true.
the signs.
Not even kind of true. This is not how that works. So the zipper merge rights, the television station here that did the story, might seem counterintuitive. One could even argue that it's human nature to get angry at drivers who pull out in front of them. However, when it comes to the construction zones, lane closures due to crashes, and other issues that block lanes during high traffic periods, experts in traffic management say the zipper merge approach keeps traffic flowing better and is much safer, and in fact, cuts down on delays up to 40%. It's facts, baby. And pretty soon, if we can get every state on board with this, this should be law universally. Federal law, zipper merges from now on. If not, you're federal prison. Just prison sentences.
And
10
now-
years minimum.
and now, since you said facts, Chris McCann in our YouTube comments said, speaking of zippers, Utah downloads more adult material than any other state. Those are facts.
It's good to know.
Bingo.
Good to know. Zipper merge. Learn it.
If you have ever walked into a dive bar, really embraced the essence of it, and gone, I need a taste of that in my mouth hole, Miller High Life has the product for you. They have teamed up with Tipsy Scoop, which, by the way, the fact that that's a company is hilarious to me, to make the dive bar ice cream bar.
Okay.
All right. It has all of the flavors of your classic dive bar in one.
So
The
like
stickiness
chicken
of the
wings.
floor has been captured by a gooey caramel swirl.
That's not a good way to sell your product.
Carbonated candy is mixed in to provide the iconic champagne of beers effervescence in every bite. This is verbatim out of the press release. It's all tied together by dark chocolate to evoke the dark wood and dim lighting ambiance that all good dive bars share. There's also one element that I haven't mentioned yet. It's a tobacco smoke flavoring. They put in a cigarette butt flavor to the ice cream bar.
Yeah, I'm going to go with no.
And here's the most dumbfounding part of this. You can buy a 6-pack of these, which are, by the way, 5% alcohol, for the low, low price of $36.
What?
And they're sold out. You can't even order them. Eddie Fox and I were discussing this before the show. We were going to order a pack just to eat them on camera as one great big happy family.
Beer-flavored ice cream.
Yep.
With caramel.
Yep.
And cigarette butts.
And cigarette smoke. Tobacco smoke flavoring.
First off, beer-flavored ice cream doesn't sound like
Cigarettes out. Stop making ice cream that's weird flavors.
Not a good idea.
Strawberry or nothing.
I don't know about all that.
Strawberry is the best flavor of ice cream. It's not even close.
It's not.
This is a total aside, but have you had the strawberry frosty yet?
No, I have not tried the strawberry frosty.
If they take that away from me, I will. You know what? I'll have I keep wanting to say riot for some reason. A protest of one.
Protest.
My little sign. I'll be sitting in the parking lot until they bring it back to me.
Gotcha.
That is tremendous.
Worse, will it be better or worse than when Taco Bell got rid of the Mexican pizza?
Ooh, that's a good question. That also was not a good day.
No, it was not.
Who in the world looks at this? We were going to do it as a joke. To do it on camera because it would be funny because this thing has to taste just horribly bad.
I would think so. Caramel and beer doesn't mix.
With the shipping, because they have to ship these things in dry ice. Mm-hmm. A 6-pack of these ice cream bars is almost $80. And they're sold out. Like, you can't even buy them. They just announced it. You can't even buy them because enough people have done it.
It's brilliant marketing, apparently.
My other question, and I can't emphasize this enough, is who in the world drinks Miller High Life?
It's cheap. Tastes like, run-of-the-mill beer. I mean,
it tastes like a urinal in a roadside truck stop. And that's just an assumption on both ends.
They pretty much all do. I mean, Bud Light, Busch.
You stop.
Natural Light.
There is
very little difference between any of those beers.
There's a huge difference. There is a huge difference.
Uh-huh.
I am a connoisseur.
You're a connoisseur of the mass-produced beers.
I mean, connoisseur is a nicer way than saying a drunk, right?
I was going to say alcoholic. Yeah.
Hey, alcoholics go to meetings. I ain't never been to one. So
you're not a quitter, are you?
Bingo. Mama didn't raise no quitter.
Yeah. I'm really out on beer-flavored ice cream, and I'm definitely out if you're adding cigarette smoke flavor.
I could have dealt with all of it until you got to the cigarette smoke. Like, who wants to eat that?
Does it smell like that? Like, does it smell like a musty dive bar?
I'm going to assume it does.
It's kind of got that urine smell to it. Just all kinds of grossness.
Eric Miller in the YouTube comments said High Life is better than Miller Lite. I don't mind the latter.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I need to give the old champagne and beers another try.
I like the High Life. I mean, if you're gonna,
there were no less than 5 jokes that immediately came to my brain right there, and I don't think I could tell 4 of them. So.
Just saying, any beer that I could buy for $10 a 12-pack, all the way in, cheaper than dirt. You know me.
There's just certain things you don't skimp on.
Oh, and beer's one of them?
Beer's one of them.
So you always go for the high-priced Busch Light.
No.
Or Bud Light, excuse me. You're a Bud Light drinker.
I am a domestic light. That is all. I don't really care which one. They all have their positives.
Except for Coors.
Nope, that one's fine.
Oh, okay. I've heard you down Coors all the time. So.
Well, they don't have that robust flavor that I'm looking for.
Patrick Holt's correct. They all taste like water to me.
That's kind of the point.
So,
Ta-da.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Not so much between sports at Kentucky, though. If you had to finish the sentence or fill in the blank, Kentucky is a blank school. Your answer has to be basketball. Kentucky is a basketball school.
And I'm going to say I don't necessarily agree with that.
I don't know how you cannot necessarily agree with that.
There are 2 basketball schools in this country. It's Duke and Kansas. There are no others.
Carolina.
Carolina's pouring a ton of money into football.
I mean, just because you're pouring a ton of money into it doesn't mean you're good at it. And
Follow the money. I don't care if you're good at it. I care less if you're good at it. And the premise of this story is that John Calipari was interviewed, and he basically just threw complete shade to the football program and to Mark Stoops and said Kentucky is a basketball school. I would argue there's 2 basketball schools left because Duke is terrible at football and so is Kansas. And you have a basketball program that can actually pay the freight. Kentucky, I'm sure they could pay the freight too. It's a lot better when you got that football money. Is it not more comfortable? And that's what I really want to ask Calipari. Is it not cushier around here now that you got Mark Stoops? Now that you win more than 3 games a year,
right?
Everything not a little nicer. Maybe the couch is a little cushier.
Not really, because the more Mark Stoops keeps winning football games, the more money they're going to want to pour into it. And that's what he's all about. They need a new practice facility. They need a new gym. They need all kinds of new things, Calipari believes, for the basketball program. And apparently he can't get the powers that be at Kentucky to give him what he wants.
Of course he can't.
And so he says, we're a basketball school. Why are you pretending with this football thing? Because it's all going to come crashing down.
And that is without a doubt the stupidest thing I've ever heard somebody say. If you don't think having the football money coming in helps, just look at the real powers in college football and then look at the rest of their athletic department. You know what they tend to all have in common? They're really good at virtually everything. There's a reason for that. Because money is what drives the world. And what made this a topic on this here program is Paul Finnebaum, who used to follow us in this time slot, basically said, if it came down to a fight between Calipari and Stoops, Stoops should win. And I agree 1,000%.
And I do not, because I don't think it's going to be, when you make a decision like this, you want to make a longevity play.
Nobody has ever put the words John Calipari and longevity into anything.
No, but where's he going to go?
Calipari, back to the NBA.
Oh, you think that's still a possibility?
I have always said there is another act of Calipari in the NBA. I've said it for years, and I won't back off of it until he retires. And I'll be honest with you, even when he retires, he'll have to be 80 years old before I go, no.
No, not going to happen. I just feel like he's been there. He's won a national championship for you. I see him as less likely to leave there in the next 5 years.
Stoops has made himself he's shown a great commitment here. He's been here for 8 years. This is his 9th season in Kentucky.
I get it, but the more and more that Kentucky program wins, the less likely it is that Mark Stoops is going to hang around.
Let me ask you a question. Mark Stoops, this is his 9th season. How many 10-win seasons does he have?
2.
How many did they have in the 98 years before him?
None.
It was also 2.
Oh, okay.
One of them was with Bear Bryant.
Okay.
The point is, if John Calipari walked away from Kentucky tomorrow, that would still be the most ballyhooed job in the country. There is not a coach that wouldn't answer the call.
I would agree.
If Mark Stoops leaves Kentucky football, who's going to replace him? I mean, is that still is it an attractive job? Mark Stoops made it work. Nobody else ever has. And now the SEC is better than it has been.
Not really.
There you go. That's why you have to kiss up to Mark Stoops. Mark wants a new practice facility? Here you go. You want some more money? Here you go, Mark. And you know why you do that? Look at Florida State. They cut the purse strings. What happened immediately? Florida State is now I'm going to say something that I can't believe I'm getting ready to say out loud.
Okay.
Florida State is more of a basketball school right now than Kentucky is. Because they're completely irrelevant in football.
Okay.
You're a little bit of a name. A little bit. That's waning every single year. But if Mark Stoops wants anything, he wins. You are printing money for us. Printing it. Because we've been irrelevant in the sport forever. We were Vanderbilt. You came along, now we're not. Sorry, Cal. You're not really all that special because there's been, 5 of you. Adolph Rupp, Tubby Smith, Rick Pitino, just off the top of my head. Mark Stoops is limited edition. He's a one of one.
Sure.
We had Bear Bryant in the 50s. That's a long time to wait. I can't believe he said it out loud and then doubled down on it when Mark Stoops came out against him.
Calipari, Calipari, for what you want to say about him, he's always been a guy who will speak his mind and not care.
And that would be
one way or the other.
And I'll be honest with you, that'd be another reason for me to go, you know what? Tie goes to the runner. You're kind of a jerk and very difficult to deal with. And Mark Stoops is not.
Now, Kentucky's never going to do that. This was Paul Finnebaum trying to be spicy. It's not going to come down to him or me.
This is uncomfortable. I'm not going to say it comes down to him or me. I'm just going to say this is uncomfortable.
Right.
You need to be swimming in the same direction. And John Calipari, much like me, is somebody that doesn't always play well with others.
Sure. Because he runs the basketball program, and forever, Kentucky has been a basketball school. And they're still classified as that. It's the only sport that they have a shot at winning a national championship in. They're not relevant in the national championship picture in football.
No, but they're relevant. They're relevant in college football. If you are relevant in college football,
third or
you
fourth
are not
best
a basketball
team in the
school.
division. Awesome. Congratulations.
Because you're relevant in football is worth about 5 times in revenue what being relevant in basketball is. This arms race, the arms race in college sports, it did this. If you're a college basketball fan, more power to you. I am too. But do you not see the irony of how much money a lot of these historic football schools are pouring into basketball? Whether it's Nebraska, Florida State, Kentucky,
Alabama,
Georgia. Is that not? That's weird. Why would they do? Oh, because one of them pays for everything else.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is crawling 26 westbound near East Flat Rock between the US 25 connector to approaching Dana Road. An accident reported in the stretch. 26 westbound, then stop and go between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound, light delays between Brevard Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Smoky Park Highway northbound, approaching Pisgah Highway, an accident reported. Sweden Creek Road moving incident-free. Hendersonville Road southbound, light delays between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Are you a safe driver? Are you looking to save money? With DriveWise from Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you can save. At Allstate, better protection costs a whole lot less. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
Did you get the Clement Horizon clean last night? I don't want another barnacle incident. Where's Ivan?
Kiki's head of docking operations just jumped ship.
What do you mean he's sailing around the world?
She needs a new marina manager to help keep her head above water.
Yeah, the tide's perfect, but we are slammed.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted each year. Help police by not escalating. Address any complaints after the encounter. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. Learn more at nationalpolice.org.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
We have to answer an important question, though, in the YouTube chat. Pennywise says he has to buy the beer for a frat party tonight, and he doesn't know what he's doing. What beer do you buy for a frat party in 2022?
As someone that once pledged a frat, my favorite one at that time of my life was the next one. So I'm going to say there's probably not a terrible call there.
I think I want to know what kind of school. What kind of school are you at?
Oh, well, there are more things that I need more information here.
Right. Like, is this a seltzer crowd? Are you buying White
no.
Claws?
Oh, no, you're not going White Claw.
For the frat party?
No, you're not going White Claw. No, I saw somebody, and look, you probably tap out a White Claw every sponsor of the show based on what I'm getting ready to say. White Claw tastes like static on a television set where somebody talks about a fruit in the background.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm out. So he's at LSU, and he's a junior. Okay, so LSU, Louisiana.
Lone Star beer?
No, that's in Texas.
Oh, that's Texas.
I'm going to go any form of domestic light.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing: whatever I can have the most of, and stay out of the Keystone crowd, the Miller High Life crowd.
Right.
Don't do that. Oh, you know what? I know what the answer is to this.
Okay.
I know exactly what the answer is to this. It's PBR.
PBR.
PBR's the right call. That's the ultimate selection right there. And maybe it's because I just let my mullet down because all of you seem to be attacking me, and so that means I'm coming out swinging in the next hour. Which is exactly what PBR will elicit you to do.
All right. If you've got a suggestion for Pennywise on what beer he should take to the frat party, hit us up on the YouTube stream, thesportsocracy.com. Third hour coming your way after SportsCenter.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, some gray weather sticking around for the rest of the week as a big upper-level weather system pulls into the Carolinas, kind of an unusual August weather pattern. That's going to keep our numbers in the 70s, about 10 degrees cooler than average through the rest of the week and the weekend. 60 tonight with a stray shower. Afternoon showers Wednesday, Thursday. Cool temperatures by August standards. Highs in the mid-70s, lows in the upper 50s near 60. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is crawling 26 westbound near East Flat Rock between the US 25 connector to approaching Dana Road. An accident reported in the stretch. 26 westbound, then stop and go between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound, light delays between Brevard Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Smoky Park Highway northbound, approaching Pisgah Highway, an accident reported. Sweden Creek Road moving incident-free. Hendersonville Road southbound, light delays between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. Charging a cell phone can be like getting a booster shot. A booster is given to enhance or restore protection after a primary series vaccination, which wanes over time. Schedule an appointment when you are eligible. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Shop the new appliance truckload event at Lowe's going on now. They have a large selection of refrigerators, ranges, and more from the brands you trust. Plus, get store-wide savings on other in-stock categories. Shop the event online or in-store now while supplies last. Valid through 8/17.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The Sportsocracy.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The arthroscopic knee surgery that Jets quarterback Zach Wilson underwent today has been deemed a success, reports ESPN's Rich Cimini. The team not putting a timeline on his return, but it seems to be the same as the 2 to 4 week range the Jets originally envisioned. While that is good news, Wilson missing camp as he gets ready for year 2 is not, notes our Chris Canty.
Zach Wilson is missing invaluable reps during training camp in order to get said growth. And so there's got to be some concern about what version of Zach Wilson you're going to see, what you're going to get once he does come back from the injury with all of the missed time, all of the missed practice.
Chris Canty of Canty and Carlin, quarterback Joe Flacco in line to start the Jets' regular season opener, reports ESPN's Adam Schefter. Mets righty Carlos Carrasco, diagnosed with an oblique strain. He could miss 3 to 4 weeks. The Braves tonight go for an 8th consecutive win as they continue their series with the Mets. Atlanta's 4.5 games back of NL East leading New York. Pirates infielder Rodolfo Castro suspended 1 game for having a cell phone in his pocket during an August 9th game against the Diamondbacks. He's appealing that suspension.
If you need last-minute hires in no time, you need Indeed. Their integrated hiring solution lets you schedule and conduct video interviews all in one place. Finding your next great hire has never been more streamlined. Get hiring at Indeed.com/credit.
Now, your chance at $1,000 and a trip to our 2022 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Text the nationwide keyword LUCKY to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's LUCKY to 200-200.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. You can see the Sportsocracy everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget that link in the description of today and every day's YouTube video until we're done signing people up to be Beer City's best fantasy football player. We're doing it for charity once again this year. Your fee proceeds will go to the Eblin Charities St. Nicholas Project to make sure that the kids of Buncombe County will have a very happy Christmas. And, so get in now. Tell your friends about it. We want as many people as possible in on the fantasy contest this year.
Our goal is 500 people to be in this contest. And the winner is going to win a lot of things.
We are putting together the prize pack. We not only have the custom belt that is going to the champion with the Sportsocracy beer mug logo on it,
which is quite wonderful.
But also Western North Carolina Auto Detailing has thrown in $500 to the winner in car detailing services. So you can get you can get your floors done, you can get the ceramic coating on the outside of your car that helps repel all the dust and dirt and grime. They do fantastic things over there. So, and we're going to have some of our other sponsors throwing in stuff as we go along, and we'll be announcing that as soon as we can.
It's going to be a very aggressive prize pack. This is something, we're going to talk about this so much over the course of the season. This is something that you're going to want to be involved in, because if you're not, you're going to feel left out.
Right. We're glad to be able to help out the local kids in the area. We're also glad to be able to help out juniors at LSU and what you need to take to your frat party.
Very rarely do you get that kind of service from a sports show.
We are just here for you. Pennywise in the YouTube comments, he's a junior at LSU. He was asking us what beer he needs to take to the frat party tonight because he doesn't know what to get. And, cheaper is always better.
Cheap's always a winner.
Quantity over quality, as somebody
Evan Doyle.
put it. Yeah, Evan Doyle.
Evan Doyle was the winner. As a former brother, quantity over quality. Just get a lot of whatever.
Right.
That's a good call. By the way, why are we so popular around LSU? Have you ever noticed we have a ton of people that watch the show that either go to LSU or did go to LSU?
Mm-hmm. We got a lot of Saints fans in the comments.
Is it because of that wonderful Ed Orgeron impression I do?
Maybe.
Go Tigers.
I'm trying to, I do my part to try to help out as well. I'm not a college student. I am 20 years removed from college, so I don't know what they're drinking at the college parties these days. So I did a Google search of most popular beverages at a college party. Number 1, White Claw. That was the number 1 response. White Claw's number 1. Number 2, Natty Light.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
If you're not buying for the frou-frou crowd, then just get the cheapest thing that you can buy in mass quantities. It also suggested twisted teas, malt beverages, things like that. Do you get down with the twisted teas, Jeremy?
No. I want beers to taste like beers.
Okay. Top 4 was the White Claw, Natty Light, Twisted Teas, and Smirnoff Ice.
Does that even exist?
I didn't even know it was still made.
Well, I will say I've been iced recently enough that it would make sense. You don't know what that means?
I don't know what that means.
Oh, it means it's going to happen to you on camera soon enough.
Oh. Great.
Absolutely.
Don't even.
The fact that you don't know what that means, I'll explain it to you as it happens.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I look forward to being iced. Whatever that
means.
means.
You should not look forward to it. I will tell you that much.
Wonderful. It is the top of the third hour of the program. And as we do at the top of the third hour every day, it is daily draft time. And with the NFL putting out their top 100 players for the 2022 season, we decided we're going to do this each and every day for the rest of the week. So by the end of the week, we are going to end up with the top 40 players in the NFL. Only half of them will belong to my team, half of them will belong to Jeremy's team.
And then we'll vote. So we will alternate first pick.
Okay.
So I'll get it today, and I will get it Thursday. You will get it Wednesday, and you will get it Friday. That way it's just all fair.
Okay. All right. So with the number 1 pick.
Is it wrong that I didn't even have to think about this for 0.2 of a second?
No.
There's one player that is just clearly better at every player at his position It's Aaron Donald.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even have to think about that.
Aaron Donald has been the best player in the NFL since he got into the NFL.
And you have to realize he plays a non-dynamic position.
But
there are not many 3-4 DNs that are this good.
Mm-hmm. But he makes it dynamic.
And it doesn't matter who's around him.
Mm-mm.
It was good with Von Miller. It's been good with Robert Quinn. It's been good with a slew of guys coming off the edge. None of it matters because he is just a freak of nature.
Deontay Fowler.
Yeah. He is the only reason Deontay Fowler's still in the league. Sorry, Dallas Cowboy fans.
Right.
Don't get your hopes up.
So this is best players for 2022, correct?
Correct.
All right. Well, Aaron Donald was obviously the number one choice there. So at number 2, I'm going in a guy that I believe is going to have a hell of a season this year. He's got a very good shot that he's going to win the MVP. Got a very good shot that he's going to win the Super Bowl. It's Josh Allen, quarterback of the Buffalo Bills.
Well, that doesn't make me happy at all.
I know.
See, my strategy is there are a lot of quarterbacks.
There are a lot of quarterbacks.
And so to me, that pushes them down a little bit. Not saying that, I got news for you. If you really want one, I highly advise you do it here.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a few guys that are clearly the best player at their own position. And I love Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I am the champion of the Josh Allen for MVP bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
I have 11 quarterbacks on my screen that I could come out of this with by the end of it, and I would be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but it's not like drafting a fantasy team.
No. And I'm not saying I got to have a guy at every position.
All right.
Our goal here is to walk away with the most talented team.
Mm-hmm.
And we will have the wonderful fans of this show vote on it. I'm okay with how we've started 1v1.
Okay. Oh, it's my turn again.
It is your turn again.
We're doing the snake thing. As the
you only way to be fair.
As you do. It's the only way to be fair. Well, again, we're not building fantasy teams. This is picking the best players in the NFL. And after taking Josh Allen, I have several more quarterbacks that should be taken at this point. And I just can't stay away. I can't stay away from a guy who has won the MVP 2 years in a row. I'm going Aaron Rodgers, Captain Ayahuasca himself.
Captain Ayahuasca. I want that too. I want that to latch on to him.
Aaron Rodgers is not going to win the MVP again this year. I see virtually no way that happens. But I also don't see him taking a step back this year just because his weapons are lesser than they were last year. He is still going to be, in my opinion, the second best quarterback in the NFL.
I would agree with that.
And that means Romeo Doubs time.
This is your daily Romeo Doubs mention. I feel like every person that listens to this show is going to have Romeo Doubs on 90% of their fantasy teams.
And they should.
And you should. Because he is good at the footballs.
Indeed. So, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, back to you.
You're off to a formidable start. All right. There is another player that, to me, is clearly the best player at his position. This may sound like a little early until you realize how productive he has been. And much like Aaron Donald, it really hasn't mattered what's around him.
Mm-hmm.
It's T.J. Watt.
Wow.
It's T.J. Watt.
Okay.
I can already tell your team is going to be more heavily quarterback than mine. And I'm pretty sure I'm okay with that. Because my second pick's not even a quarterback.
Really?
It again falls into, are you clearly the best player at your own position?
Mm-hmm.
And I think this guy is. Statistically, he may not be, because there has been some upheaval with his team. But I would rather have him than his quarterback, who I feel like you're going to take. So I'm going Travis Kelce.
Okay.
I think Mark Andrews is close. But in terms of all around, I have the 3 best players at 3 positions, and I'm perfectly okay with that.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of people talk about being nervous about Travis Kelce, and I'm not in any way.
No.
Well, he doesn't have Tyreek Hill now. No, he has Sky Moore now that does the exact same thing.
Right.
It's a guy that takes coverage over the top, which keeps you from putting a safety over the top. Yeah.
Yeah. But do you think that Travis Kelce is the 5th best player in all of football?
I do.
Okay.
If you're factoring in, and I'm going by the top 100 criteria, which is you have to gauge them against players at their own position, all of the things. So it's not just in a vacuum of if I was starting a team, this is where I would go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I've gotten through 3 picks and I don't have a quarterback. I think there's about 6 quarterbacks that are virtually the different skill sets, but in terms of talent, they're virtually the same.
Okay.
Even if you double up on them, I still feel like I'm going to be fine.
All right. So Travis Kelce is the 5th player selected in the top 40 NFL players. That is a bit of a surprise to me. Since I have quarterbacks and thinking about this as a team mindset or going at it from that angle, I'm going to take a wide receiver. And it's the wide receiver that I think is the best in football. He did switch teams this year, but Davante Adams is going to be in for one hell of a season this year.
I have no qualms with that. I'm not going to lie. I considered him with my previous pick, and he certainly wasn't getting by me.
Yeah, no. And then if we're going from consider all of the other players at their positions, who's the best at their position? And who's going to be the best for a long time? I'm teasing my next pick because we got to take a break. And when we come back, I'll be drafting a certain player who fits that criteria.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 26 westbound between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound is slow between I-40 and the French Broad River. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road slow, southbound between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road, north and southbound, approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Smoky Park Highway northbound near Sand Hill Road, delays. Check of the drive time from Swannanoa to Asheville via 40 westbound and 240 westbound. Drive time 17 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples helps with all your school printing. Right now, get 30% off school-related prints when you spend $25 or more. In-store only. Offer ends 8/27. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/schoolprinting for coupon and details. Don't go back to school. Go forward to school at Staples, the working and learning store.
The job market is competitive right now, so you need to be competitive to attract top talent. If you're trying to fill open positions at your business, iHeartMedia is here to help. Use radio and digital targeting to find fresh, passive candidates currently in the workforce. These candidates are listening right now, looking for new opportunities. Together, we can let the community know you're hiring. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
It's the Best Pro Shops night race at Bristol Motor Speedway. And it's a cutoff race in the NASCAR playoffs. You remember what happened last year, right? September 17th. Go to BristolMotorspeedway.com and get your tickets before they're gone.
It's back. Countdown with Keith Olbermann, the podcast. Starting Monday, August 1st, a new episode every weekday morning. Political commentary beholden to only one special interest group, facts. Plus sports. Did you know I used to do sports? And the worst persons in the world. New episodes every weekday morning. Listen to Countdown with Keith Olbermann on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Roots and wings. The 2 greatest gifts any parent can give their kid. But when it's time for them to head off to college, there's also groceries, laundry detergent, notebook paper, ironing instructions, and futons that assemble with parts left over. At Ingles, we have all the comforts of home right around the corner. We know that life's biggest steps are best taken with faith and trust in the ones you love the most. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
We are in the midst of today's daily draft here in the Sportsocracy, and with the NFL putting out NFL.com putting out the top 100 for this year. They've only done the top 50 so far, and we'll talk about some of the surprises in that first 50 coming up later on in this hour. But we're drafting our top 40 players in the NFL. We're going to do 10 a day over the next 4 days.
Which will lead to our top 40.
Yes.
Right when they come out with their top 50.
Indeed.
See what we did there?
Indeed. So, we've already started out. Aaron Donald went number 1 to Jeremy.
As he should have.
Then I went Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers. Then he goes T.J. Watt, Travis Kelce. And then I took Devontae Adams with my last pick. Now, if we're talking about guys that are at the top of their profession, at the top of their position group in the NFL, I feel like this guy is clearly the number 1 at his position, and I feel like he's going to be for a long time. Hopefully, his health will hold out, as with all these players. But it's Jonathan Taylor.
That's the first one you've done that's made me angry.
The running back.
And I knew you were going to.
Well, you should know. I've been in love with this kid since he was in college. And there was no way that I was walking out of today without having Jonathan Taylor as part of my top 20 in the top 40 exercise.
Well, I don't love that.
Because, I mean, if you were setting a line for Jonathan Taylor, where would you put his rushing yards this year?
1,500.
Really? That high? Okay.
Oh, are you talking about a betting line?
Yeah.
Oh, 24 and a half.
Okay.
I'll take the over.
I was thinking 1,250, somewhere in there. And total touchdowns, I'll put that at 15. 15 and a half. I know how much Vegas loves the halves.
Big fan of the half.
Yeah, 15 and a half total touchdowns this year, which I don't think would be hard for him to go over at all.
All right, here's a player we haven't taken yet that I think is abundantly obvious that he should have come off the board by now.
Okay.
He was the 2021 number 1 player in the NFL, and I already have his number 1 target.
Mm-hmm.
It's Pat Mahomes. And that's what that's how I felt like this would work for me, is you can only take so many quarterbacks. Right. And to me, he just fell right in my lap.
Mm-hmm.
Just fell right in my lap.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing I can do about it.
Mm-hmm. Still one of the best players in the NFL.
I've been stunned at how much reticence there is of people that he will be as good without Tyreek Hill.
Because this is the first time we've seen it. We've seen Aaron Rodgers without Devontae Adams. We've seen him do it. We've seen, Josh Allen. Take Josh Allen. We've seen Josh Allen without Stephon Diggs, and it wasn't that great. Granted, he was just a year into the process, but still, we haven't seen Patrick Mahomes have to do it with lesser weapons. And now it's time to put the pedal to the metal. Rubber meets the road. Trying to think of a zipper merge reference here.
There needn't be one of those. The second one's where it gets a little more difficult for me. This is the first time I've really had to think. The other four have been pretty obvious to me.
Mm-hmm.
There's not another player that, to me, is clearly the best player at their position.
Okay.
We've already kind of snagged those.
Right. Pick that tree clean.
I also have to think about what you're going to do. Because our objective here is to have the best set of 20 players.
Yes.
So, there's a player I want to take because I don't think he's going to come back to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to risk it. And if you take him, I'm going to say many, many bad things.
Off the air.
I don't feel like there's been enough fallback for this guy that he should still be available because we readily said he was the best player at his position a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's Jalen Ramsey.
Okay.
Jalen Ramsey. Statistically, it's never going to look as good as it actually is because nobody throws at him. And you shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a very good tackler. I think there is not a huge drop-off, but from him to 2, I think there is a drop-off. And I just don't have another position like that.
Okay. I feel like a lot of people are down on Jalen Ramsey because of the Super Bowl highlights.
I get it.
The Super Bowl highlights showed Jamar Chase getting the better of Jalen Ramsey on a couple of occasions. And I get they won the game and all of that shouldn't matter. I agree with that. But people no longer look at Jalen Ramsey as the shutdown corner that he is. And I think it's wrong.
I do too.
I think it's completely wrong. But that is kind of what's driving the hate, so to speak.
Tyler Cunningham in our YouTube comments, did Kamara die? He was 51 in the NFL top 100 list, which I have a great big problem with. But we'll get to that in the next segment.
Yes. I don't see Alvin Kamara as a top 10 player in the NFL. Top 10 running back? Absolutely. He's top 3 running back in the NFL. But not so much when it comes to top 10 overall players in the NFL, which is what this list is truly supposed to be. Now, with my final pick of the day, I gotta get a defensive player. I haven't touched the defensive players yet. And I am so much in love with this guy, and I know that he's had his problems in the past.
Oh no. I don't like how this is starting.
I know that he's not everybody's favorite player, but he has a mean streak unlike pretty much any other. And he's got a hell of a windmill, as he fully displayed on Mason Rudolph's head one day. Myles Garrett, the edge rusher from the Cleveland Browns. What? Why do you hate that?
I don't love that just happened.
Why do you hate that?
So I wanted him on my team.
Oh,
I thought I could
see.
just
Okay.
wait. I had 2 players that I thought you were going to take, and so I didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, no. Myles Garrett is he's a physical phenomenon. 16 sacks last year, and I don't really see much standing in his way from doing that each and every year.
I don't love that just happened.
I like T.J. Watt. I think you were correct in taking T.J. Watt as the first edge rusher off the board. That Myles Garrett is very close in my book.
I don't love that just happened.
Well,
but I'll be honest with you. I think that's the right 10 players.
Yep. So top 10 players, according to the first daily draft here in the Sportsocracy. Aaron Donald, here's Jeremy's team. Aaron Donald, TJ Watt, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, and Jalen Ramsey. I have Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Jonathan Taylor, and Myles Garrett. That's your first 10. We will add 10 to it with tomorrow's daily draft right here in the Sportsocracy. When we come back, we will talk about the NFL's bottom 50 players in their top 100.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, some gray weather sticking around for the rest of the week as a big upper-level weather system pulls into the Carolinas, kind of an unusual August weather pattern. That's going to keep our numbers in the 70s, about 10 degrees cooler than average through the rest of the week and the weekend. 60 tonight with a stray shower. Afternoon showers Wednesday, Thursday. Cool temperatures by August standards. Highs in the mid-70s, lows in the upper 50s near 60. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time-saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Lane delays, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Monfort Avenue. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 on the eastbound side. Pockets of slow traffic volume between the French Broad River and Airport Road. 40 westbound near the Smoky Park Highway. The right lane closed here near exit 44 for emergency road work. Traffic is building and backing up. Smoky Park Highway is moving well. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, stop and go after the Blue Ridge Parkway to Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples helps with all your school printing. Right now, get 30% off school-related prints when you spend $25 or more. In-store only. Offer ends 8/27. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/schoolprinting for coupon and details. Don't go back to school. Go forward to school at Staples, the working and learning store.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. Plastic waste in the environment persists for hundreds to thousands of years and creates serious risks for wildlife, ecosystems, and humans. Help reduce plastic waste by replacing single-use plastic packaging, bottles, and containers with reusable products. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/earth.
Oh, are you seeing these readings? This is incredible.
Short-staffed, Marco's climate research facility is in the eye of the storm. The atmospheric pressure to find more weather specialists is mounting.
Man, this is going to be a big job. We're going to need a bigger team.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Hey you! Do you like sports? Of course you do. But how much do you actually know about the history of sports in this country? If you're not 100% sure about that, check out the new podcast, The Untold History of Sports in America, presented by One Day University. This podcast celebrates the ceremony and examines the controversial storylines around sports in America. Listen to The Untold History of Sports in America from One Day University on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Most important message of the day time here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Don't do crimes. Crimes are never good. Crimes are bad. And, like the saying goes, you shouldn't do them. Just don't. Take, for instance, this guy. When he goes out to eat with his girlfriend, taking her to the finest of fast food meals at Burger King.
That is not the finest of fast food meals.
41,
it's good. It's got its merits, but
41-year-old James Hunt is now in some hot water as he and his girlfriend and cohabitant, as they refer to her in the police report, went out on Saturday afternoon to the Burger King. They go to the Burger King, and a dispute turned violent because apparently she did not want to eat her food. Apparently she didn't appreciate that he had taken her to the Burger King.
as will be the resolve with most cohabitants.
She got a little fussy. She didn't want to eat, and James was very upset because he had spent his hard-earned money as a mechanic on this food. So the shouting turned physical when she tried to get up and leave the restaurant. He threw a cheeseburger at her, and he hit her so perfectly with the cheeseburger that it opened up and stuck to the back of her head, the force of which made her trip and fall, and she face planted on the concrete below. Now, she suffered a busted lip. I think she chipped a tooth in this as well. And now, for throwing said cheeseburger, James Hunt is now facing felony battery charges for throwing a cheeseburger.
All right, there's a lot to unpack there. 1, don't throw food at people. 2, do not throw things at your cohabitant.
Mm-hmm.
3, how hard did that cheeseburger have to be?
I don't know. Maybe she's clumsy in the first place, and I don't know. That's not all that happened, apparently. One of the Burger King workers did tell police that after she had fallen on the ground, he went and hit her. And so there's the felony charge.
Yeah, and
there's
now,
the felony
and now
charge.
you just go away.
Right.
Like that, you just go away.
Right. So now can we play the fun game of where did this take place?
Florida. Was that even a question?
Bingo. Clearwater, Florida, right outside of Tampa. Don't do crimes.
Don't do crimes.
I mean, I get that you're upset that she doesn't want to eat your fine meal that you have now purchased for her, but throwing a cheeseburger, not the way to go.
All right, first thing, we have a super chat. Happy birthday, Ashley Lister. Always important to get those things in when we can.
Yes.
Mine is... I don't understand why this is the second story I'm telling like this in 2 weeks. My story is about a man named Jesse B. Shaw. He didn't just do crimes. He has done crimes many times.
Mm-hmm.
He had 3 arrest warrants and was wanted for stealing a car. This is in Washington County of Oregon. Apparently, authorities spotted Mr. Shaw.
Okay.
And he knew, in true doing more crimes fashion, that he had to get away.
Yes.
He could have run on foot.
Mm-hmm.
He could have stolen a car because obviously he's done it before, so he knows how.
Yeah.
But he didn't do any of that. He stole a construction excavator and led police on a half-mile low-speed chase across Washington County.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how fast those things go?
I want to know how small this county is that he went across the county in half a mile.
Oh, it wasn't across the county.
Okay.
It was just a chase.
That's what you said.
Top speed on one of these things is like 4 miles an hour.
Okay.
So how did the police pursue him? Did they get in their cars and chase him?
He just walked beside
They walked behind it with their guns drawn. Like, dude, you have chosen poorly with your escape vehicle.
Yeah, you should stop now.
You just get down. Like, we're going to hop up and get you down if you don't come down. Eventually, Mr. Shaw was stopped and was arrested for attempting to elude police, the alleged stolen car, and the 3 arrest warrants. Would you like to know what his arrest warrants were for?
Oh, I'd love to.
One was a state parole board violation.
Not surprising.
And another was for delivery of methamphetamine.
I was going to say drugs. Got to be drugs. Because only when you're high on meth does it feel like you're speeding down the highway in an excavator.
You know what I should steal? Something that someone can walk beside. Don't do crimes.
Wow. The NFL is releasing the top 100. The NFL Network is doing the top 100 for 2022. And they have come out with their bottom 50. So from 51 to 100. There's a name on this list, and it's not Justin Tucker. Jeremy, at the beginning of the program, got really upset that they put a fullback in Kyle Juszczyk and a kicker in Justin Tucker.
You're screaming that we're going to be fair.
In the top 100. I think there's something to be said for being the best at your position, which both of those guys are.
And I get it. I really struggle to believe. There will be names left off that if the 49ers offered Kyle Juszczyk, I don't think you would think twice about it. I have a feeling I know who this name is. This is a guy that you're perturbed he's in the top.
Absolutely.
100. Is it Mac Jones?
It's Mac Jones.
It's Mac Jones.
Mac freaking Jones.
I saw his name on this list and went, I mean, was this – they said they were polling NFL players, and that's how this came about. Mm-hmm. Did you leave off a word? Out of their mind NFL players?
No, we just 50% of the respondents came from New England players.
I guess.
Because Mac Jones being in the top 100 is absolutely ridiculous.
One spot behind Roquan Smith.
Right, not to mention that he is number 85 on the list. And would you like to hear the 4 players that are directly behind him?
Absolutely.
Shaq Barrett.
Stupid.
Denzel Ward.
Stupider.
Jonathan Allen.
Stupid.
And Marshawn Lattimore.
Stupidest.
Yes.
Stupiderist.
Marshawn Lattimore.
I'm going to make up a new word.
Marshawn Lattimore somehow is number 89 in the top 100, and that is ridiculous.
I'm dumbfounded. I'm also dumbfounded. Chris D in our YouTube comment said the backtrack when Mac Jones wins the Super Bowl in 2024 is going to be hilarious. Let me say as clearly as I can. If he does, I will backpedal in a way that Jair Alexander would be jealous of. I will also do so completely naked on a street in Asheville whilst wearing clown makeup and dealing with my falcon because I will have taken up falconry.
Yes.
That is how confident I am that that's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I am just absolutely hilariously dumbfounded at how you get to Mac Jones in the top 100.
I don't know.
Did you not see him in the playoffs? Did you not see him complete one pass in an NFL game? I get that the wind was blowing sideways. I get it. That was comical to me. Wasn't the only thing that was comical to me. The fact that Alvin Kamara fell 35 spots for absolutely no reason, also insanely stupid. How many running backs in the NFL would you take over Alvin Kamara right now?
2, 3, maybe 3.
You're going the wrong way for me.
It'd be Jonathan Taylor.
End of message.
That's
Repeat
it?
the line. There's not,
Really?
and to me, it's not even close.
Derrick Henry.
Injuries, workload, all of the things.
Mm-hmm.
Chris McCann, thank you. It's 37 spots. That's what Alvin Kamara fell.
Okay.
How many running backs in the NFL can do all of the things that Kamara does as a premier pass catcher, premier between the tackles runner, and there's no injury history?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of talent, very close to Christian McCaffrey.
Yes.
I would actually say McCaffrey's probably a little better, but there's huge injury red flags.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon Barkley, talent, very good. Unfortunately, you've been hurt a lot, and I've never actually seen you do it.
Right.
Alvin Kamara, there's no reason for him to have fallen. If anything, he should have gone up. Because last year he was playing with Taysom Hill, and he was still the same dynamic back that he was before.
Well, maybe the players are just out on him after the fracas this offseason.
I don't know. If you're
Pro Bowl week, whenever that was.
If that's affecting your judgment in balloting, maybe you shouldn't be the one that's being polled.
Agreed.
Also, if that's affecting your balloting, I'm
going to need somebody to explain a couple other things to me.
Alvin Kamara was 51. I found it almost as insulting that Mike Evans was 53. I can't wait to see the rest of the list to see who...
If other receivers are pushed down, I get it.
Right.
Now, if Cooper Kupp is 4, which is exactly how I think this is going to go, and yes, I did see people saying that in the comments, ask yourself this question, and to me, this is not that hard. If you take all of the things out and you put any of these receivers on expansion NFL 33rd team X, who you rather have, Cooper Kupp or Jamar Chase?
Jamar Chase.
It's not even close. Who would you rather have, Cooper Kupp or Justin Jefferson?
Justin Jefferson.
Not even close. I could keep doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I understand he won the Triple Crown. I understand he had a great year. I would argue that has every bit as much to do with Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford as it does with Cooper Kupp.
Agreed.
So if we get to the top 50 and all of the receivers are pushed down 10 slots, okay, I have no qualms.
Right.
The fact that Matthew Judon is one spot ahead of Mike Evans is one of the more comically stupid things I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm. You will not find a more and this is another thing that kills me about the low ranking of Marshawn Lattimore. Mike Evans is the most consistent wide receiver in NFL history. Mm-hmm. No one else has done what he has done. 8 straight seasons of 1,000 yards. It's hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
And every time he faces Marshawn Lattimore, what happens? Mike Evans is irrelevant unless he can catch some miracle touchdowns, which I think last year he caught 2 touchdowns but had like 6 yards. How is Marshawn Lattimore 89?
I'll be honest with you. I was irritated at every Saint. I thought every Saint was too low.
Mm-hmm.
Because Cameron Jordan was 69. Tyrann Mathieu was 70. And you already said Marshawn Lattimore.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were all too low. And this is not pandering. These were my biggest takeaways. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't love DeMario Davis falling 10 spots either. He's just chronically underrated.
Mm-hmm.
It's gross.
Mm-hmm.
Another decision the Jets found a way to.
I mean, I get
boo-boo
these,
kitty.
it's not like it's a big deal or anything. These are popularity contests. I get it. But it just seems ridiculous to me that you have, I don't know, Kyler Murray ranked 12 spots ahead of Cameron Jordan.
That makes no sense.
On the best players in the NFL list. Who does their job better? It's not even close. It's Cameron Jordan.
These lists are always great fodder for you to be angry at.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that they're a combination of a lot of voters and things like that. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. I've always been kind of baffled at how you put this together, because how do you determine the value of the different positions? And that's something that we're going to be experiencing over the next 4 days with our daily drafts of how do you prioritize in the overall grand scheme of the league? How do you not end up with a list of, I don't know, top 20 players and have 10 quarterbacks on it? Because they're all the most important players in the NFL. It starts with the quarterback position and then moves on from there. But it's just ridiculous to look at a list and go, yeah, Kyler Murray's a better player than Budda Baker. Are you sure about that?
I also would like to know, what exactly is it that the Arizona Cardinals have on whoever's voting on this? How in the world is James Conner on this list? You could have done the top 100 players on offense. I wouldn't have voted for James Conner.
You wouldn't have got there, despite the 18 touchdowns last year.
Woo. Peyton Hillis had a double-digit touchdown year too.
That is true.
And then what happened?
He was cursed by Madden. That was what happened to him.
There is very little in this life that I'm looking more forward to for the 2022 NFL season
than the great big grumper that James Conner is going to take on everybody that drafts him.
The grumper.
I have a fantasy draft literally right after the show,
Mm-hmm.
and I am going to laugh hysterically. It's an auction. It's the only auction I do, mainly because they take forever. I will laugh when somebody spends $40 on James Conner.
Mm-hmm.
And my comment is going to be invariably, I feel like you forgot a decimal point because that should have been $4.0.
$4.
And then I would have been okay with it.
Right. It's hard to say no to a guy that scores that many touchdowns.
Oh, I'm seeing myself doing it often.
Mm-hmm.
Early, often, and as many times as I have to. That's a play. You know what? If we're going to put in kickers, Justin Tucker's better than James Conner.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. What's on my mind right now is if good news can make Jeremy lose his mind like he did at the top of the 4 o'clock hour about his New York Jets, what in the world does he have in store when we come back from the break? It'll be time for Jeremy to get mad.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, heavy volume. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 eastbound slows east of Brevard Road, continuing to Long Shoals Road. Future 26 westbound stop and go between I-40 and Elk Mountain Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. It's summertime. Just like reapplying sunscreen helps continue protection against the sun, a booster shot can help enhance protection against COVID-19 after a primary series vaccination, which wanes over time. Schedule an appointment when eligible.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
Hey you! Do you like sports? Of course you do. But how much do you actually know about the history of sports in this country? If you're not 100% sure about that, check out the new podcast, The Untold History of Sports in America, presented by One Day University. This podcast celebrates the ceremony and examines the controversial storylines around sports in America. Listen to The Untold History of Sports in America from One Day University on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Roots and wings. The two greatest gifts any parent can give their kid. But when it's time for them to head off to college, there's also groceries, laundry detergent, notebook paper, ironing instructions, and futons that assemble with parts left over. At Ingles, we have all the comforts of home right around the corner. We know that life's biggest steps are best taken with faith and trust in the ones you love the most. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
Dirty Turkish back flat.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Back flat.
Let the hate flow through you.
Apparently, a lot of marketing directors and financial consultants for large companies don't listen to this show. Because Miles Brennan just did the exact same thing I warned you was going to happen not long ago. This is from Darren Ravel. Miles Brennan has left school at LSU. He was not going to be the starting quarterback. As I told you, it's going to be Jaden Daniels, and it should be. From Darren Ravel, Miles Brennan signed NIL deals with Raising Cane's, Smoothie King, Game Coin, Small Sliders, and Hollingsford Richards Ford. Man, that is hard to say. He didn't play a single game since signing, but because NIL deals cannot be based on performance, he keeps all the money. And here's the problem with NIL in a nutshell. If you want to know why people were reticent to do this, it's because now what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. Miles Brennan doesn't win the job. We paid him money. Well, what do we do now? Are we going to sue him? Nope, can't do that because it can't be based on performance. So what did you actually get for your money? Hey, I'm the guy that was one time the quarterback at LSU for about 14 minutes. Eat it, Raising Cane's. Hell of a marketing campaign.
Right.
I'm mad.
Oh. So much money will be wasted in this process.
Set on fire.
Yeah,
because that's what they all did.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, all you really had to do was the minute Jaden Daniels signed at LSU, you could have called me. I'd have told you exactly how this was going to go. Mm-hmm. Because Brian Kelly, smart guy. I think he could probably evaluate talent. It's not even close.
But this is the risk that all these businesses are taking. And you look at all the deals that are happening right now with prospects, with recruits coming in. You don't know what you're getting. How many of the top high school athletes from year to year to year don't do anything in college football? Can't make their team, get in trouble, whatever.
And this is what people like me that said, be careful what you ask for. I never doubted that guys should get compensated. I never had a problem with the low level of money that you would get off the video game. By the way, fun story. Mm-hmm. With the college 23 NCAA football game coming out, they did a poll of 100 college athletes that are currently playing college football that will be in that game. Mm-hmm. Of the 100, do you know how many of them mentioned money?
2.
It was 1.
1.
Said, I would like to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
The rest, I don't care.
They don't care.
I grew up with this game, and I want to be in it.
Absolutely.
You can make a mountain out of a molehill all that you want to. And, yes, it is great for the Tim Tebows and guys like that of the world to get compensated for what they do because they make a ton of money for the school. For every one of those, there's 50 Miles Brennans. Mm-hmm. 50. So I'm just telling you, this is what you asked for. This is what you wanted.
Yep.
So don't be angry when you get what you asked for.
Keep signing these multi-million-dollar deals with 18-year-old kids, and you're going to get bit more than you have success.
And, I mean, if you know that going in, okay. But just know this is the Wild Wild West.
I was going to say, I don't know how a business could not know that that's a risk that they're running.
More don't know it than you would expect.
Which is dangerous.
Well, I mean, because you want to, this is the wave of the future, and you want to jump into it.
Yep.
There are very few protections for you. If you pay the money, okay. And there will be DeColdis Crawford from Nebraska. Mm-hmm. His commercial just came out with that HVAC company in Lincoln, Nebraska. They've already made their money. Between his name and that marketing campaign, which, by the way, the commercial is fantastic. That's a good deal. Mm-hmm. That was a well-thought-out deal. Mm-hmm. Raising Cane's with Miles Brennan, maybe he didn't think that one through.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't look at the roster and go, there's at least a 60% chance he's not the starter.
I just can't wait to see how this deal's going to work out for the Tennessee Volunteers, my favorite punching bag, and the $8 million that kid from California is getting. Iamaleava, their new quarterback. Think he's going to live up to that for Tennessee? Color me skeptical. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We will be back with you tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. Same time, same channel. Don't forget to check us out at thesportsocracy.com. Click on that live video link, subscribe to the channel, get into the chat, and don't forget to hit on that link to join the battle for the belt.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, some gray weather sticking around for the rest of the week as a big upper-level weather system pulls into the Carolinas, kind of an unusual August weather pattern. That's going to keep our numbers in the 70s, about 10 degrees cooler than average through the rest of the week and the weekend. 60 tonight with a stray shower. Afternoon showers Wednesday, Thursday. Cool temperatures by August standards. Highs in the mid-70s, lows in the upper 50s near 60. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time-saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue, 240 west and eastbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, very heavy volume. 26 westbound slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway, 26 eastbound light delays between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. Future 26 westbound stop and go between 240 and Elk Mountain Road. Near Avery Creek Boulevard Road, north and southbound near Long Shoals Road, expect some delays. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lynn Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. It's summertime. Just like reapplying sunscreen helps continue protection against the sun, a booster shot can help enhance protection against COVID-19 after a primary series vaccination, which wanes over time. Schedule an appointment when eligible.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices,